I have Dave with me. This is another round of 16 best of 5. Winner moves on, and we have Team Canada against Poland. Poland, the underdogs. But as I was just saying, Barls is a beastly, beastly player. He's actually ranked around where Slam is, ranked around where Chris is, a little bit behind Hera. He's in the yellow for Poland. He's teamed with Jack. Jack is in the red, playing as the Indians, and he's up against Slam, who is Vikings. And then we have Hera, who is Chinese. Dave, any big takeaways? Any thoughts on what you see?
Do you think it's a bit weird that they went with Chinese here?
Yeah.
Instead of like a standard cavalry civ? I guess against Indians, if you think Indians are coming, you want a cav civ with camels of your own, I guess.
Well,
it just seems
it's weird because I've never seen Chinese go cav. No, that's a lie. In the group stage one time, I saw Chinese go in the knights and camels instead of the archers. So, Hera, it's expected that he is going to be that scout role. But maybe they have something else planned if they're expecting Barls to go fast castle. I'm sure they've done their homework.
Barls and Jack have looked pretty good in this tournament so far, from what I've seen.
Yeah.
Especially, I think Jack is performing at a higher level than I thought coming into this.
Yeah, Jack, there's a few players out there, and there's a lot when there was 32 teams where a lot of the players are not known, but they're top 100 talents. And Jack, like many of the players, or actually all the players who were in the top 32, played back in the Boobly days all the time. He's a nice guy, and there's a couple other Polish guys, too. You've got Barls, you've got Jack, you've got, shoot, I can't pronounce his name, but it's like DZI...
Ziemziak or whatever.
That one.
I think that's how you say it. I don't know.
And I always thought that he was the second best Polish player, and I spoke to him. It was actually during a 1v1. I said, who is better, you or Jack? This was 6 months ago. And he said, oh, Jack, definitely. So it's cool to see how Jack has kind of grown into being the number 2, and he's played really well. So I'm talking about that, Dave, and I noticed this massive hill. It spans the whole way across the middle of the map.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like it's a custom map or something.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It feels like whoever controls that if it gets late game is probably going to win the game, but I mean, we have to get there first.
Yeah, also, Hera and Barls are pretty close together, and Hera has a map that reminds me of a map I had against Vietnam with both extra gold forward.
And the stone.
And the stone,
That stone is really far forward,
It'd be tough, man. It'd be really tough.
At least he does have one in the back, though, and he's got a safe main gold in the back, too.
Yeah.
If, like, I already see the walls in my head coming up from him, especially around that front berries. That's going to be the place he needs to lock down first, I believe.
And as Chinese, you get Loom right away, so the walls will probably start coming up. I think what's weird about having Chinese go scouts is their feud age time is normally later than a civ like Franks, a civ like Magyars, any civ where you can go 20 pop scouts, because you can't really pull that off with the Chinese. So I'm paying attention to Hera's builds. It looks as perfect as can be right now. But will there be a barracks? Yeah, Barls is going to go Drush FC. He did this so well in the group stage and so frequently. This will be fun to watch.
Oh, Hera just trapped in the scout.
he just
tried to get out.
In. Oh, what a play. Well, ripped to the scout then.
Obviously already with Loom because he's Chinese, so that's just not a great fight for Barls to take.
No. Now, does he... You're the Canadian here. Does he have to apologize for that? Is that how that works? We don't see chat.
No.
You don't have to anymore? Is that an old thing?
No, that's pre-2009.
Oh, okay.
There was a memo.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I didn't get that. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, well, Canada Post doesn't deliver to, the States.
Yeah, it makes sense. Makes sense. I canceled my subscription way back in the day anyway. So Barls, 3 militia coming forward soon. Big problem area for him, Dave, would be the berries, I'd say, if Hera's going to be going for scouts, or even if Slam comes this way with archers. Hera will, I think, at that point, like, that's just good fortune if he spotted the militia. But I don't know if he was paying attention, so.
Look at that gold for Barls. Maybe it's because I was playing Tetris before I got on here, but I like that. It's very satisfying.
It does look like a Tetris.
It's a weird formation. Like, you don't really see that one very often.
That's not the first time I've heard you talk about Tetris the last few weeks. What's been going on with Tetris? You've been playing Tetris?
I like it, too.
Do you watch one too many Low Eagle Legend mining camps or something? Like, oh, man.
Oh, Barls is in here on the House Villager from Hera, but Hera quick walls. He can do that in his sleep, and he's going to quick wall his mill, too. I mean,
Alright.
it's annoying for Burls to be here with this that early, so
Yeah. The main thing for Barles is having a comfortable base setup with walls
yeah.
and being able to go FC. It doesn't have to kill villagers. Idle time is worth it, but I am a little concerned because I think a team like Canada A is probably going to know what to do against this, but I've seen it work so many times.
Slam has a lot of walling to do at the back of his base. I guess he can go to the TC, but it's super open, like the front
Yeah.
and back of this area.
Yeah, Jack maybe getting a little bit too aggressive there. Good patience from Slam to leave his scout at home, because now he's able to take fights against the scout from Jack as Jack tried to snipe the Bill. But yeah, straight archers for Slam. I don't think we'll ever see Slam deviate from that. It's just, give me a build order to stick to. Let me make a lot of archers in micro. All right, so pretty different on both sides. On the right, we have one player going scouts, the other eventually building up towards archers behind walls. On the left, we have one player going, I assume scouts, as it is, against Drush into eventual archers. And Barrows is walling up like crazy, and he'll actually get the walls down. Barely, but he'll do it.
I mean, he's been a little bit annoying with the Drush. He can maybe go over and hit those stable villagers, maybe get into the berries. But I think he would have expected a little bit more than that.
If he had his scout, man, it would have helped so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
That play from Hera was huge. All right, looking at Hera's base, he's going to make a few scouts, and Jack is not fully walled yet, so that could always head over towards Jack. Jack is probably thinking the opposite, or the reversal. He's going to head the military over towards Hera, because Hera's not fully walled yet, but still quick walled in most places. See that uptime for Barles, plus 100 food, plus 100 gold when he gets to the next age. Doesn't feel like he's going to have the resources to go up when you look at his res right now, but we'll see. Hera just stays
It's
at
always
home.
deceiving. It's really deceiving with Ethiopians, right?
Yeah, I think if he doesn't have a solid Castle Age uptime, the team's really going to struggle.
Yeah.
Because Slam's going to be faster to archers, right? So you have to have some benefit of being late like this. Good patience from Hera. It would be awkward if Jack were to show up right now, but Jack has not done so. So just farming away, and we'll take out the militia with the hill right now.
I mean, I think Burls will be fine with this trade here because it's given him time, right?
That's all he wanted. Yep. Giving him time. Also, he'll tell his teammate, all right, Hera's not heading towards you, so you can work on walling, which seems to be finished. Yep. Good
Resources
stuff.
don't look too bad for Burls, but yeah, he can't go up right away.
Yeah, I think on the bright side, Slam hasn't sent any early archers behind the berries. If he sent, like, a spear and a few archers, sat it behind the berries, Barles would have to pull villagers off the berries right now, which is not what he wants. But yeah, I think he'll be clicking up soon. And Hera's still just patrolling at home, so I guess still playing safe. I feel like Canada haven't even really tried to punish Poland yet for how passive they've played.
No, I think Canada, as long as they secure their bases and have a stable economy, I think they're pretty confident.
Yeah.
They don't really feel like they need to do damage immediately. I think they know the level of themselves and their opponents, and they know that they're favored to win this set. So they're going to play it calmly
safe.
and passively.
Yep. Don't need to take any big risks if you're Canada. You need to take some risks if you're Poland. And I would consider... Normally, I consider this type of a play against meta and a risk. So we'll see if it pays off for Barles. Hera will see the ranges, and Hera will see that and know he must be on his way to Castle Age.
I think my volume needs to come down.
Yeah? Okay.
Well, that's what people are saying, so.
Okay, yeah, I can do that. I had upped it earlier, which is probably my mistake. 1 second. I'll compromise. I'll lower it by like 5%. Should be fine. See, the problem is there's people who want you to be louder. They're like, no,
I know.
don't do it.
know.
All right. So here come the archers. Here come the scouts. And Barl's expecting this. This is perfect timing. He'll actually be finished with these berries soon. Oh, but he reacts late? Oh. Okay, villager survives. That was super close. Well defended there, Dave. But at what point can Barles comfortably push out if both armies are here?
As soon as he upgrades to crossbow and clears everything.
Yeah.
that's the hope anyway. Whether it happens, I mean, Hera's on the way to the Castle Age right now. Burls is already 83%.
I think
There,
I might have
so-
made you too quiet now. I don't know.
Oh my
We'll figure
God.
it out. It's fine for me. It's not a big... No one said anything on chat. But yeah, Crossbow Bodkin will be in, Dave. Good pressure from Slam and Hera, but they can't find a way in.
Yeah, and they're going to have to back up here. They just saw the Burls got to the Castle Age. They'll be a bit more annoying. And now they're going to run to Jack, or do you run home? I guess you go to Jack.
Well, if you run to Jack, the benefit is that Barles might have to save him, and then Hera doesn't have to deal with the crossbows. So this might be the good play, but I think Barles has to leave Jack on his own and head towards either Slam or Hera. That'd be the better move.
Yeah, I think trying to hit Hera's economy is probably good. He's seen the exposed wood line. He's seen the exposed berries, so he knows that there's places he can attack.
Yeah. Now, Jack expecting this will need some house walls in places that normally he wouldn't have. I wonder if Slam scouted that gold earlier. Okay, Slam did scout that gold spot, so they might work their way around, but that's also a lot of wasted time. I'm feeling pretty good about Poland's position, Dave. I feel like if the roles were reversed and it was Hera going FC in the crossbow and it was Slam going scouts, that I'd prefer Canada's position. So it's interesting now. Let's see how Canada can defend from this.
Well, I like the fact that Slam is completely untouched with Viking Eco.
Yeah.
That's
Also,
very
Hera's
dangerous.
uptime is pretty sick. 19-minute uptime.
Yep.
Crossbows are here, but he'll be on Knight soon. And Hera getting Chain Barding, that's the important upgrade you need when up against crossbows.
Yeah, he just needs to stall out this army for maybe, I don't know, a minute until he gets everything done.
Yeah.
And then he can deal with it on his own. He doesn't even need help from Slam. I mean, Slam can just, as soon as Slam gets to the Castle Age, he can go for maybe even a couple extra TCs right away. There's
Hera
no
under
pressure on him, but
here.
Hera,
Oh, he's got a lot to do, Dave. The town center could be denied. There's also scouts. He's got a quick wall on the other side. 2v1 on Hera. And Hera will lose this
and
knight.
here comes Jack.
Wow.
Here comes Jack with the scouts onto the gold. I feel like that's so greedy from Hera to just keep attempting that TC.
Yeah,
but he's
oh
in-
my word, dude. The damage
in
was
it now.
done.
Yep.
Wow, Poland's. And the crossbow's still here and at home. Barles completely untouched. Also, an update on what happened with that little army Slam had with Hera. That's going to get cleared. Actually, Slam's got a few of those crossbows running around, Dave.
Oh
but
my
now,
God, Hera's woodline, dude! No!
wow, Poland's, man. All over these bills from Hera. Hera's getting destroyed right now. This is exactly what Poland would have wanted.
It seemed like such an underreaction from him. Like he started building a TC with what, 5 villagers in the direct path
Yeah,
of
yeah.
the crossbows we're gonna take. Like
Even just-
he stopped his knight production. Like
Even just keeping Hera off of gold for this time is a victory
Yeah.
for Poland. So to get those Vil snipes is massive, and you know, that the forward golds for Hera is going to make things so much worse for him long term. But here comes Slam. Talked about Slam being untouched. Talked about how good he can be, especially with Viking Eco, and he's going to help Hera out. But this is not the start that they would have wanted for Hera.
yeah, Hera was trying to ride that line of like defense where he just gives himself enough time, and he failed.
Yeah.
He failed pretty spectacularly. I looked outside and I think the Canadian flag is flying at half mast for all those dead villagers.
Oh man, we have that permanently here in the States because of our play. So, oh man. Well, I'm looking at the position, and the big thing comes down to the archer numbers of Slam, because if you have enough archers, Indian camels, well, they do have more pierce armor than your average camel. They have less pierce armor than knights. So the fact that Jack cannot make knights could be a concern if Slam can get to enough expos.
Look at
but he's
they're
at
just
17.
they're just ignoring Slam completely.
Yeah.
Jack's like, I'm gonna go back to the stable and I will absolutely melt it with my camels.
Poland have a massive lead here, Dave. After
Yep.
Hera, like Hera's just gonna boom and contribute with a few knights,
Yep.
but he is to hope that Slam takes some good engagements and that Poland makes some mistakes here.
This is a position, maybe it's because Slam is primarily an archer player, but this is a position I've seen him in so many times over the years.
Yeah.
Like, has a good military, has a good economy, but his ally is struggling and he's just can't decide what to do.
Yeah.
Like, his crossbows are running back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Hera's
It's
probably
tough.
telling him one thing, his mind's telling him another thing. Like, he's not pushing it all.
Look how forward his resources are. Like, I
Yeah.
would be so undecided. I need to protect myself,
Yeah.
but you've got to stay here. And they really haven't seen Barles yet. I think that's the worry. And Barles will show himself now. And they've already taken out a stable from Hera. Now, since Hera's not contributing with Knights, his Vil count's decent. But those
Yeah,
villagers
he's
need to
decided
contribute
to
at
just
some
go
point.
for eco because
Yeah.
he knows that this army can't really take out his economy at the moment, especially with Slam around.
Yep.
But he'll need to, start producing sometime soon. That other last stable is about to go down.
Yeah. Interesting how Poland, they probably can't even believe that they have so much more than Canada here in game one. They could just walk right around to that gold if they wanted to.
Yeah.
Will they have the confidence to do it? I feel like to have the
I don't know if
confidence to
they
run
can.
past, man.
I don't know if you can, man. Not with Slam coming in with more crossbows. They don't know where that second reinforcement army from Slam is.
Yeah, and Hera also made a little house there to keep him trapped in.
Oh, market.
And Villager goes down, and the market goes down, and Hera still not able to take a good fight here. Slam with good archer numbers. The Knights pop out. I take it back.
Yeah.
Jack wasn't engaging.
Yep, Jack was trying to clear up that house. He did clear it up with the last camel, but his buddy's not going to make it out. He'll make it out.
Yeah.
His friend is not.
Yeah, and maybe that's why you don't commit there, right? A lot of teams
Yeah.
take the lead and then back away. What's so fascinating about this is how Hera's been able to recover his 61 vills, and while he's lost a few stables, his eco has been near perfect since the bad things happened. So I'm thinking he will need to add a few more stables and get the night production out, but right now looking pretty good.
I think a lot of players there would have made another stable and continued to produce on
Yep.
like 2 TCs. And what Hera did is he committed to the economy because he knew that at best he was only going to hold with that extra military.
Yeah.
He wouldn't gain an advantage. So the economy is giving him an advantage now.
Speaking of economy, Slam, he's
Yeah,
at
it's-
74 villagers. He's got the most vills in the game. He's about to click up to Imp, and he also has 37 military. So you might not think of Slam as the best player on Team Canada, but I think Slam is clearly the best archer role meta player on Team Canada. And if he can click up and still maintain that mass, it's going to be so tough for Poland to deal with.
Yeah, I think if you give Slam a free economy with Vikings, that's never really a great
Yeah.
game plan. Like, they haven't hit him at all.
I think they really should have shifted. If they see
Yep.
that Slam is here again, I think they need to shift over and hit Slam, because this is where
Yep.
Slam would be vulnerable. But maybe they feel like, well, Hera's behind. We need to make sure we kill him and pressure these forward golds.
Well, they're going to shift now because even from their perspective, Tristan, Jack's sitting at 3,800 points. Burrows is at 3,500. Slam is at like 4,300.
Yeah.
And he's going up to Imp too, which means his score dropped from that too. So they realize that he's going to be a problem, and they're coming over with the camels. Slam with a decent position, although I'd like to see a house there because these camels can dive.
Yeah, and the camels should dive. And also, camels can destroy town centers. That MTC's out there somewhere. Slam's sending his whole army back over. He's got a lot of idle state, but it'll come down to how many crossbows he has when he makes it to Imp and if he can get those upgrades.
He found a good spot to sit with the crossbows in between those houses, and there's 2 TCs firing there.
Yeah.
So that's great for him. The Imp TC is not the forward one that Jack is destroying currently.
Oh, dude, this is interesting. There's a lot of
This
vills
is
in
bad
that
for
town
Poland.
center.
No, this is bad
But
for
I think
Poland. Look at-
Slam's got enough.
Slam's army is coming back.
Wow.
He can just repair that and then hop in again and wipe up the army with his crossbows.
That was impressive defense right there, Dave. Not an
Yeah.
ideal situation at all. Whew.
He found in the middle of his base where he hit his crossbows, he found the perfect position between those two houses. Because if Jack wants to engage that, he has to take fire from not only those crossbows, but both TCs at the same time.
So there's a
And
big...
now this whole army gets wiped for the cost of what? Like 6 villagers? I
Yeah.
think?
Hera also, throughout all of that, can breathe a little bit and think about securing that hill where he has those golds. This is so impressive from Canada to come back from this. Barles is on the way to Imp, and logically, you should probably have Jack on the way to Imp, and then Hera, if that order does... Like, it would just make sense after Hera fell behind so early, but who even knows if that's going to be the case with Hera sending
Okay.
so many knights forward right now.
Do you think Slam should go over to Hera, or do you think Slam should build up at his base with the imp upgrades and push out to Jack?
I think he should pressure Jack because Jack is... Well, it depends on what he sees, actually, but he's heading over towards Barles. I was thinking you take care of those camels because they would melt. But then
he doesn't
again,
know where
Barles
they
is
are,
imping.
so,
Yeah,
yeah.
Barles is imping as well. You want to get a lead there.
I just feel like running all the way across the map, there's so much opportunity for you to just get caught out
Yeah.
in the middle of nowhere, right? That would make me super nervous. And Jack is only, 30 seconds behind that army. Unfortunately for him, Hera is going to be here with Slam now.
Oh, man, dude. I'm watching this with a smile on my face because Canada were so far behind.
Yep.
They were so far behind. And now they're so far ahead. My word, dude. This is nuts. And Barles hoping to keep what little he has remaining alive so he can upgrade it in Imp. But, dude, he could lose that MTC, actually.
I don't think they're going to dive that.
Yeah.
I think there's too many other juicy targets around here
many
for them
vills.
to dive that, yeah.
Ridiculous. 88 eco for Barles, who was the first to Castlade. Jackson 96. It's 107 for Hera. 103 for Slam. It's going to be 105 for Poland soon.
I almost feel like, I don't. It's so difficult because it feels like you can't kill this army in
Yeah.
Barles' base,
Yep.
right? Even if you get your imp upgrades, I feel like the play for Jack, and this is such a tough call to make, is to just dive Hera's economy.
Yeah, just let... Because Barles is already in a rough position.
Yeah.
Just
Let
worse than
them
Hera's
move
position.
back towards you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point, Dave. And
It's
on the
so
bright
tough to
side
make
for
those
Barles,
calls, though.
at least Barles still has decent archer numbers and still has wood and gold. He doesn't need farms. So if he can make crossbows, in theory, the Ethiopian crossbows are way better. But, yeah, here go the camels. Hera's golds are all forward. Hera is sending back some military, and so is Slam. But Slam doing the wise thing and also keeping some on the front.
That camel snuck through there.
I missed it. Oh, no, there's a
there
gap.
was a hole the whole
What?
time.
What?
Oh, man. And the quick
Oh!
ult from Hera.
What the?
Oh!
Well, there's holes everywhere here, so it was impressive, but it just rerouted them over to Slam space.
But this is good from Jack because he's pulling the army away from Barles' base. I mean, Slam
Yep.
still has a group there, but without the knights, he can't take out any buildings. So Barles is getting a temporary reprieve, and meanwhile, Jack is also pushing out towards Slam's base, but Slam
Oh, God.
has some rams forward.
Okay, so Dave, one thing that bothers me is how some pros at some stages of the game are pretty stingy about not using auto farm. And you look
Yep.
at Jack's eco, he's at 25 on farms. Look at all the areas that used to have farms. And he has so much wood. My guess is he didn't have auto farm ticked, and throughout all that, a lot of his farms expired. He's not going to have that much food. It's not so good for him.
I feel like when you're going camels or knights, auto farm is fine. It's when you're going like archers or siege or something that it really gets
Yeah.
annoying.
It
So
depends, but
I
that's
agree,
a
should've-
bummer.
ticked it.
The Rams on the front. Slam score is so freaking high now. He's getting raided, but the camels, they're not heavy camels yet. And Slam's KD has shown that every fight he's taken in this game has been a good one.
Can we just appreciate the fact that Slam has to travel like 50 miles for wood?
Dude, there's so many different areas this base that are exposed. Canadians definitely got shafted a bit.
Yeah,
Map gen.
he's out in the prairies there.
Hera's golds, you know. I suppose it's not so good for Barles either. Look at the left wood line he's chopping. That's brutal. And Barles is sitting on the hill where Hera has gold as Hera is imping, and he's going to castle that hill. This is such a weird game, dude.
It's a game of swings, and Hera is just not in Imperial Age in time, but Barles has his army in a really weird location right
Yeah.
now. We see Jack coming from one direction, Barles
Oh.
is in the other direction, but Hera engages, and maybe if Barles gets himself a decent position, he can take a good trade here. Ethiopian archers are crazy.
The focus fire from Barles has been top notch.
It's nuts, dude. That's
Yeah.
so quick. And the camels are
Unbelievable.
wiping up and there goes Hera's army.
What?
Before he reaches Imperial.
And the castle's going to go up, so that will deny that gold. Hera's making light cav. We know he loves to do that. But man, like, Hera gets to imp with all these resources, but if he doesn't have gold, this could be a real problem. This is as Slam is starting to raid and thinking about a ram push on the right side of Jack's base. And
Yeah,
there's
if I
also
were
the-
if I were Team Poland, that's what I would be concerned about. As the camels come in and actually take a decent trade versus the Arbalest, he's gonna pull him back now, but Hera's under a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah, for Team Poland, what I'd be worried about is a slam push on Jack.
Ooh.
Because you need those camels over at Hera's base.
Well, Hera denying that castle in the middle temporarily, or maybe altogether as Slam builds his. But yeah, Dave, they just can't deal with Slam. Slam's
Yeah.
got archers pushing Jack. He's got archers at Barles' base, and he's
Dude,
also
those
defending
arch-
Hera.
Those archers in Barles' base have been there for the last like 20 minutes.
I know.
Just one giant ball in your economy.
3 separate armies from Slam, constantly maneuvering them, repositioning them where they need to be. Massive carry from Slam. What a game, man. And it's all about Barles being able to match the Arbalest number, or Jack getting enough camels out to engage against it. It's going to be a tough task.
Yeah,
But-
and Jack and Barles both sitting at 90 villagers. Meanwhile, the Canadians, like, look at Hera, 150
Yeah.
and 120 for Slam.
Yeah, Hera's his best skill and the best use of his APM used to be the micro. Now it's relocating eco. Everywhere there's a spot, place a farm. Constantly above 50 farms, normally more. so-
Trade already starting for the Canadians. That's, as a, Team Canada fan, that's a very good sign.
yeah.
That is early trade. I love it.
Yeah, that combined with the fact that there's still armies from Canada, in particular Slam, showing up at random areas throughout the Polish eco. It's going to be tough for Poland to be able to lock down trade when they're focused on either defending or pushing. Ooh, 23 light cav, huh? All right, Hera.
Someone's gonna bet $10,000 that a 3-0 is coming. All right, TJ Weej.
$10,000.
We'll hold you to that. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Payable to vicious _
Dave.
Marauder.
Yeah, that all goes to Dave. Looking forward to Christmas this year. Hera's like, I don't care if I don't have my golds. I'm gonna trade with what little gold I have and make light cav. You don't see this in team games that frequently, but it's working out. And now Slam getting pounced on by camels and Hussar. That's a big loss for him, but he's still got so much, Dave.
He's gonna find. Oh, there's a really good nook in that tree line there. He's not gonna find it, but oh, maybe he will.
Maybe he will find the nook. It's funny
Getting the
how
nook.
Hera's team game performance right now reminds me so much of his 1v1s. Just spamming light cav and holding on, and then somehow taking a better position. He's going to treb down this castle, take his golds back. He's even got light cav in Jack's base.
It feels like that's one thing he does better than any other player is hold on efficiently.
Yeah.
Like he knows that line, and we saw him fail it earlier as he dodges all the Arbalest shots while the castle goes down. But just making a few extra buildings as walls to prevent an army coming in, giving himself that extra 10 seconds to react. He's really, really good at that. And then booming up behind, obviously.
Yeah.
His economy is insane here.
So I suppose there's reason for him to have the confidence he did earlier when he fell way behind.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't able to toe that line like he would have wanted to, but...
Oh, Slam's got the pain train rolling on Jack now.
Choo-choo! Damn.
Jack needs to wipe up the Rams, but can't engage because of the Arbalest behind. He's going to need a whole lot more Imperial Camels than that to kill these Arbalests.
That's ridiculous, man. The fact that, we'll see if Poland can engage and stabilize here, but I see a huge horde of light cav running in and an unstoppable force in green here. It's just amazing how Canada was able to come back here.
Yeah. And now Hera's in the back of Barles' base. And my bad, actually. Those aren't Imperial Camels. They are still heavy camels.
Yeah, they're still heavy camels. Yeah, even if they were imp camel, would they be enough? There's not a lot of gold income for Poland. They have started trade, but Slam also sent 2 arbs to the corner. And I think Hera's also paying attention to the corner as he has light cav down there killing those vills. This is crazy. So good from Canada.
Yeah. And Hera's going to know now. No trade.
Yep.
No trade for Poland.
No trade. We're killing them already, and we have trade. And I suppose Chinese, they don't have the best unit to really switch into right now. The fact that they get Cavalier and Heavy Camel is what makes them really good here. But you don't need it. You don't need it. You can make Cavalier if the Camels cannot be made by the enemy player. And Slam with his 60 arbs would mop that up. And Slam carried hard in this game. What a performance.
Slam, I feel like Slam is just, if you give him free reign, he's so deadly, especially with archers. And what you need to do as a teammate with him, because we saw the indecision earlier, I think, with the crossbows moving around. I think what Hera needs to do for Slam is like harness that in one direction.
Yeah.
You know, just give him concise, clear instructions, and then let him roll with that. It was really nice to see, though, and I think arguably Barles and Jack had the better civilizations there for 2v2 Arabia.
Yeah. I mean, Vikings, there's not many civilizations that can do what Slam just did, right? So Vikings do have that. But that brings me to my point. Poland got a lead. Should they have shifted over to Slam earlier, Dave, instead of staying at Hera's base where Hera has just decided,
I think so.
I'm not going to defend myself. Slam will do so.
Yeah. And credit to Hera there after he lost. Like, it was his mistake to lose all that stuff early.
Yeah.
But he made up for it so well. Like, he added a third TC and just stopped night production and continued villagers.
Yep.
And then, you know, quick walled where he needed to quick wall, trapped them in with a house and a market. Very well played from him.
And typically what happens is if one person is not offering anything with military in a 2v2, the other person pays the price. It didn't happen, and when they finally shifted over to attack Slam, I think it was just a little too late. But guys, if that's a team that was seeded around 10th or 11th and Poland that get that far ahead, Poland destroy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Only the top 4 teams come back from that scenario, in my opinion. That was just...
And come back that quickly, too. Like, a lot of other teams would take 40 minutes to come back from that. They came back from that in about 10.
That was unreal, yeah. And Hera with his food, but Slam with more wood, stone, gold, and the KD for him. I think it's got to give your teammates confidence when you, as a good player, might have a rough moment, but it's okay, you know? I don't think Poland have that. I don't think a lot of teams have that where, you know, their star player, their best player can have a bad game. Hera didn't have his best game, and Slam still carried him well played.
Hey, Tristan.
What?
Next game, I'm looking at the lobby right now. Hera is not in the lobby.
Ooh, so it's probably going to be something a bit funkier, probably something Hera doesn't like, and that would probably... I mean, Arena's definitely one of those things on the list, and Nomad is definitely one of the things on the list, too. So, he's not benched, chat. He's not benched. Get out of here. Even in the group stage, they were doing that.
Yeah, he got benched. Yeah.
Well, Chris...
I'm looking at the Canadian WhatsApp right now.
Yeah?
Looks like he got benched. Yeah. They were not a fan of that early raid on him, so...
Chris is the elder in the group, right? So, does Chris... Who makes the calls on the team?
Oh no, Chris doesn't have a phone. He doesn't text.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. He actually plays on a typewriter, I think, right?
Something like that.
Oh man. All right, well, game 2, it will be either Arena or Nomad. I have to restart my game here. Tell me if you see what map they've picked, because I want to speculate on that.
I love this. The people in the chat like, there's a Canadian WhatsApp chat? No.
As if they would share that right away, you know.
All right, they picked Nomad, dude. I'm super stoked for this.
Yeah,
I
your
have
favorite
never
map.
been more excited.
We'll see a lot of that in this tournament, man. A lot of the teams advancing far into it are going to pick it. It's either that or you have teams who are at a disadvantage who try and play non-meta. If it's Nomad, looking through the civilizations, there are a few civs that are quite good for Nomad that Poland have available. They have Lithuanians, they have Persians, they have Spanish. I think we're going to see Persian Spanish. And then Canada have... We saw Vietnamese earlier. That was pretty good from China. But maybe Mongols, Dave? Maybe Burmese, Malians?
Let me actually pull up the Civ draft.
Yeah, that would be helpful. But I think the big thing that people need to remember, and it looks like they've launched the next game and we have a minute or two to wait, but the big thing that everyone watching needs to remember is it's not just about what Civ works well on this map. It's also about what Civ do you want for future games. Because if you pick the straight up best Civs...
Vietnamese.
Yeah, okay.
For Canada, yeah.
Well, they have Malians, Burmese is what I see, so you got the wrong E's.
Oh, you see the game in the spectate.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, my bad.
I see, you're cheating. I get it.
Well, I would have said Vietnamese as well, because Vietnamese is really nice.
I thought they would save Burmese for Arena.
Good point.
That's why I didn't go with Burmese.
Yeah, Yeah, maybe they go Aztecs or something on Arena. I don't know. But it is likely we will see Arena because if you're expecting Canada to get at least one more win, then Arena will probably come up. But 40 seconds till we're in the game. It is Spanish-Lithuanians for Poland. I like that. And I also like Malians Burmese.
I feel like Malians are they're just the best Nomad Civ right now, I think. Persians are good, but Malians, that wood savings is insane for them.
Yeah, if I had to make a top 5, I'd probably have Malians, Persians, Lithuanians, and then you have civs which specialize a little bit more in the 2v2 aspect, like Burmese and Spanish, where you can go into conks.
Yeah. Well, Spanish, the build time is super helpful too.
True. All right, guys. They'll be in a second. Just a reminder, because the questions have continued to come in, and Twitch chat can only do so much with answering questions. We are not playing on the most updated patch. This is from basically when we started playing the tournament. We wanted to remain consistent with the balance, with everything that they were playing in this massive tournament. It's Nomad, Dave's favorite map. We have Chris, one of Dave's favorite players. How pumped are you, Dave?
I haven't been this excited for a match in a long time. And it's my country too.
I know. Man, I'm happy for you. I wish I could feel the emotions you're feeling right now.
I know. Well, we have the Poland players, Jack and Barls, actually setting up shop near each other. Jack not with the greatest location, but he's going to make it work. Meanwhile, Barls with pretty nice TC spot, to be honest. And then Slam is all alone on the left side of the map. And Slam has played a lot of Nomad in his career. A lot of late night Nomad in his career. And he would be, I think if he saw this from our point of view, he'd be extremely happy that he has this whole left side all to himself.
Yeah.
Not even any docks over there. Actually, I see Barl's way up in the corner. Never mind. But he's going to have space. And Chris is going to have space of his own as well at the south.
Yeah. Is it landlocked where that relic is?
Yep.
Near the north?
Yep.
It is landlocked. Okay. So that's an important aspect of this. Because if you look at the dock position for Jack, which he hasn't placed yet, which I think is really bad for Nomad. Like, you need to have your dock down already. What's he doing?
I don't know. Especially with Lithuanians, because you can just put all your villagers immediately on wood, right?
Yeah. That's weird. But, no, he really needs to get a dock down, guys. The big thing here...
He's looking for shorefish, dude. That's what he's looking for. Although there's one over to the right of his villager, but he wants the vill to stay out there, so he's probably going to put it right near that shorefish.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That way the villager can collect that food, too.
But that's super late with Lithuanians. Like, with Lithuanians, you want all your villagers on wood right away because you have that extra food. And
he could have a fishing ship already, right?
Yeah.
Like, he could have a fishing ship already, maybe even 2. So... that's going to slow him down. Fortunately, Barles, since he's Spanish, he does build faster. He already has his dock and his fishing ship. You mentioned Slam's dock in the south. And so I think the big thing to talk about here is who's going to fight on water for the team. And normally that's the non-unique unit players. So that would be Chris for Canada. He's got to loop all the way over to the left to get the fishing ships of the enemy. And actually, Jack would probably be the water player then for Poland if that happens. And he's really far away from Canada too, so
I think I think with Nomad you can't really look at it like that, like a water player and a land player, because the map positions will dictate your strategy more than anything. I think it would be a mistake for Chris to go full water here, having to loop all the way around to the other side.
Slam doesn't have a fishing ship yet, Dave. He's at 8 eco. Everyone else is at 11 or 12. And he was housed there temporarily, so maybe not as good of a start as he would have wanted there.
I don't know what's going on with him. He's getting loom now?
Well, he does have the only civ that doesn't have a direct bonus for starts on Nomad. Like Spanish, you build the TC faster. That helps. Lithuanians, more food, so more fishing ships then.
It's 6 minutes, though. Like, getting your first fishing ship at 6 minutes?
Yeah, yeah.
It doesn't matter what civ you have. You can do that with any of them.
Right, well, I wasn't liking Jack's start, but now I'm not liking Slam's start. But yeah, you're right. The fact that Slam is really far away from everything is really good. You could say the same thing for Barles, though, because Barles is actually town center to stone. So there's no question he can mine stone and probably get to conquistadors. It's just a matter of when, what positions they're at economically when it all goes down.
I always say this, but a good indicator for Nomad, because the builds are never the same, right? It's always a process of adaptation
Yeah.
for players. So a good benchmark is like around the 10-minute mark, you want between 23 and 27 villagers for population.
Yeah.
And if you're sitting in between there, you're doing okay at 23 and really good at 27.
I remember
we'll
we
see where
played
the
a
players
Nomad
are.
game. You knowing these benchmarks and all for Nomad, which I definitely don't know. And you were like, what's your pop? And I was scared to tell you. I think I was at a pop 17 and you were at 23. It was bad.
Remember the one game where you're like, oh, I don't have a dock. I'm like, it's not the worst thing in the world. You can get by with no dock. And then at 12 minutes, I'm like, where's your dock? You said, I don't have a dock. You said it wasn't a bad thing.
You're like, I didn't mean never. I was just trying to be supportive. Yeah, that was a brutal game. Dave and I have had a few crazy Nomad games.
I think you said like, I triple milled.
No, that's because you said commit. Your exact words were commit to whatever you're doing. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'll just make another mill. Yeah, that was brutal. Yeah, I think it was Huns too. Oh man, that was a rough one.
Good times though.
Yeah, good times, good times. Slam at 21 pop. Everyone else hovering around 24.
So he's going to be pretty stable.
He's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. He's going to be on the lower end of the spectrum, but I mean, his ally is killing it here. Chris looking like a healthy eco, and Burles is killing it as well.
Yep. And Jack clicking up at the same time as Chris. We'll see if 4 or 5 villagers go to gold and then the rest of the villagers go to wood, which is at least what Chris is doing. You normally see a second dock, and then you'll start to see some navy come out. This is both to protect your fast castlers fish so they can get the eco to go up and be stable, and also to combat the other fast castlers fish. So
All right, so Chris is going to figure out its landlock because he just sent 2 fishing ships, and I would suspect that one of those ships was going to the north and one was going to the south.
Okay.
And they both pathed that way. And now he's actually placing a second dock way over here, and Jack might find that with his villager. He's placing a dock right next to Chris's dock.
Ooh, and I feel like this is way better. Okay, this is actually...
It's good for Chris, actually.
Yeah, I was
because he's
initially going to
find
say it's
this-
good for Jack, but he's 2v1'd in this area. If he's producing fires from the other side, it's going to take a long time for it to arrive, so... Also, Chris is really close to Slam, which I think helps. And Jack is kind of split up and not so close where Bartles
Jack
is.
just, I was on Chris's point of view on his fog of war. He can't see the dock, but Jack's villager like
Popped
kind of
in.
walked into his vision and then did a double take and walked right back out.
Well, Jack spotted it. I was looking at Jack's point of view. He spotted the
Yeah.
dock there. So he'll know that he's struck gold and that he's close. But it will be fun to watch this, David. Again, the big thing here is, will the fast castlers get good uptimes?
Yeah, now that Jack is down here, now Chris can focus on that water pressure. And Jack is super exposed with only 2 docks to Chris's 3,
Yeah.
especially against Malians. Malians can just produce so many right away.
Yeah, their docks are so cheap. You now see walls from Chris. Chris may be aware that the enemy's over there. Yeah, he scouted some things with sheep, Dave. So he knows, he actually sees red houses, and he
Yep.
sees a yellow mining camp.
Yeah,
so
he knows they're both over there.
Wow.
That's really good scouting from him.
You'll even see teams use turkeys to scout the shoreline to see dock positions, but I don't think that'll be needed here. With a repair, Chris will win this fight, but then Jack still got a Vill there to repair. But yeah, Jack might be awkward for him in this choke point. He can't really run.
Yeah, it's going to be very awkward. All he can do is build up his forces here and try and be annoying. And try and keep Chris occupied for as long as possible. Maybe a good couple demo shots gets him out of here, but that villager repairing is going to be really exposed.
Yeah, his demo is queued after. Oh, the repair is working, Chris.
Yeah.
Chris not
Chris is
repairing.
not.
That was so bad.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, that was
Turnaround.
so bad for Chris. You really got to get out of there and repair. I see a signal. Bartles was scouting with his fishing ship, Dave. So he's telling his teammate, get to Slam's fish right now. And I think it might actually behoove Jack to just float on by, go down to the fishing ships, and forget about Chris for a bit. Because his fishing ships aren't over here. So he doesn't need to protect himself. Are you laughing at behoove?
That's the first time I've ever heard you say the word behoove.
I'm sorry. It made sense. It just came to mind.
It behoove you to never use
Okay. Point taken. Moving on. Barls is just a bit faster with everything, just like we expected after the Dark Age, but Slam is also on the way to Castle Age. The Slam will lose fishing ships, and there's still fishing ships for Barls working. This is looking pretty good for Poland.
Oh man, I can't get over that.
It's all right. I can keep talking. I'm pretty good at wasting
Reading
time with
too
that.
much Dickens or something. I don't know.
I no explanation for that, but good move from Slam. 4 fishing ships that can still, 6 that can still fish.
Yeah, and he's doing a good job, running around. And Chris is here now.
Yeah.
Chris sending 2 more fire galleys, so he's gonna wipe this army up from Jack. And Jack only has 1 fire galley potentially to harass Slam.
Yeah,
So good job from the Canadians to hold on here.
I'm looking at the amount of resources that Jack has, and he's adding farms already, Dave. You've got a castle from Barls right next to him. I think he's thinking about going Castle Age. Maybe they're happy, Poland, with how much damage they've done already and want to shift onto land pressure.
Look at Chris stonewalling.
Chris
He's
stonewalling
nervous,
like crazy. Yeah, I would be too.
I like this a lot though. If you're the water player, like the one thing that can happen is you overinvest on water and you win that for your team, but then your economy gets completely crushed by land, right?
Yeah, true.
And he knows that Slam has all the space in the world over on the left.
I think so. I like it because it's a good play, right? But the fact that he has to do it right now is not so good. You know what I mean? Like the conks are out there. The conks could also pressure Slam a bit, depending on. Actually, I like the castle position for Slam, but on water, as we see Barls fleeing with his fishing ship, he's still okay because he's redocked to the north. Slam also still okay in the south. It overall is pretty even. I'd just say that Barls seems to be slightly faster than Slam with all the small decisions.
Yeah, well, Spanish are faster in general, right?
Yep.
To get to the conks because of the build speed bonus. You get your TC up faster, you get your castle up faster, etc., etc. So I think Burmese will catch up because they get the 2 free wood upgrades, but that takes time.
Yeah, this is the point. I'd say especially if you take eco losses, Burmese can recover. Spanish, if you lose food, you're not making conks.
Yeah.
Burmese, you just need
Airbuyer
some wood and gold.
So much easier to produce than Conquistadors. I think Conquistadors are the better unit, but Arambai are just more viable for a nomad economy.
Yeah, Barls reminds me of the crossbow movement in Game 1. He's so quick, man. He's one of the faster players, but you never know it because he doesn't stream too much nowadays. He used to in the past, playing those Hun Wars. All around Slam, and not so much on Chris, as Jack, who's still fighting on water, Dave, will be faster to Castle Age.
Chris looks like he stopped production, too. He's only got 1 fire galley in the queue. Okay, he's going up to Castle Age, but he's going to need a whole lot more than that because Jack has the advantage on water right now. It's just in his docks.
Yeah, okay. In the forward docks, Villager's still there. Slam pretty close by, and Chris's fish eco pretty close by. However, Chris swooping the fires to the north. This is a smart move. He found where Barls is fishing, and he will stick around there, Dave. So Jack will need a bit more there. I'm just trying to watch the unique units. This is pretty.
Yeah, man, those fish from Barls are disrupting Jack's fire ship so much, but he's going to clear up the 2 fires from Chris in the north, and that was the only threat
Yeah.
to his fishing eco. Barls will just redock over on that side, and he'll be fine. And, oh, Jack's got a big force now.
Jack has a massive
On the
force.
water.
Upgrades could be coming in. Oh, big demo? I guess that's worth it. I'm not so sure.
We both make the same sound.
No demo on the way for Chris. That would bail him out here. And yeah, I mean, 2 fishing ships go down. He has the lead in the fight. And Dave, it's just Poland ahead every step of the way. I'm wondering if Slam can start to swing things a little bit, though. Because he's got Arambai with Bloodlines. The Conks only have 55 HP. No Bloodlines, no armor.
Yeah. And remember, Barls was taking off food for quite a while with his fishing ships.
Yeah.
Chris did idle that, so his production has suffered a little bit. Like, he doesn't even have one in the queue right now. He's got Bloodlines on the way and armor. And his food economy is looking pretty rough right now. He's just now getting back to the fish.
Yeah, poor Jack. He's just trying to build the TC. They're just peaceful villagers. But good micro from Barles here, and I'm waiting to see Slam's reaction when he starts to lose his fishing ships. Slam doesn't even have a farm, Dave. If he loses his fishing ships, and yeah, he's lost them right now.
He's Burmese, man. He doesn't need the fishing ships.
That's true.
Just a food or
That's
wood
true.
and gold. That's it. That's all you need.
It's a good point. And I think it wouldn't behoove
Barles
Chris.
is trying to quick wall. Yeah.
It would make sense for Chris to stay on water, and this is good from Slam.
Yeah, this is really good from Slam. It would have behoven Barles to build those houses a little bit earlier.
I don't know. I actually don't know if behoven is a word. I know behoove is a word. Quick gate? Wall? Something? All right, well, finally, the Erembi will get mopped up. Slam was able to breathe a little bit on land throughout those engagements, though.
I feel like Chris should have reacted better to these 3 docks from Jack in the south here. It's been dictating the play of the game so far.
Yeah.
Again, now Chris is kind of looping around. He's afraid to take a fight with his navy because he knows Jack has a superior force.
Chris with 41 eco, 42 for Slam. Slam getting pickoffs on Jack. Jack! Oh my god! Jack didn't react, but he still has the most eco in the game at 49. But Slam, while he took good engagements against the villagers, the concern is now that's one too many conks out there, and he lost a lot of Erembi.
Yeah. The advantage, though, for Chris, I was talking about how he should have reacted differently to Jack's docks. The advantage for him is that he's going into 3 TCs, and he's going to have a good land economy. Meanwhile, Jack has been harassed. He does have 3 TCs, but he's been harassed by Slam.
Also, if Chris is sneaky enough to sneak fires in the north, you don't actually need to win water. You just need to snipe the fish, and then you're fine.
Yeah, and that's what he's trying to do right now. I'd actually love to see him delete a wall and go build a dock up there.
Ah,
he
that's
knows
true.
where the fishing ships from the enemy are.
That'd be a very good play. Lots to focus on, and of course he hasn't fully scouted that. And Slam, silently, but effective enough, killed 4 villagers in the back of Barles' eco, and Barles has to send all of his conks back. So Slam's doing a really good job at controlling the game at the moment.
Yeah, and this is, I mean, this benefits Team Canada that Barles and Jack are in the same location. If Barles wants to go hit Slam, he has to run all the way to the other side of the map of Chris.
Yeah, yeah.
Meanwhile, Slam, when he's running away from Barles, he runs right into Jack's economy. So he's perfectly fine with that.
It's perfect. He's not running away. He's just running to the next destination. So conks have 6 range, and the Erembi have 5, but the Erembi feel a lot more deadly when they get in close. So you gotta keep that distance if you're making conks. This is so fun to watch, though, and wow.
Oh my god!
These things are brutal, man.
It's like, when they hit, you know? It's just, you just gotta get them to that position where they're actually gonna hit.
And I don't think anyone really knows what that is, because they're so inaccurate.
It was just simultaneous death.
Oh,
on
and the
3 of those
move from
conquistadors.
Chris, sniping some fishing ships. It's 3 or 4 that otherwise would not have happened, and maybe as Poland's focused on land, Canada can start to shift some focus back onto water. I like that play from Chris. Yeah, 4 more about to go down.
He got a good couple demo shots, too, wiping up 4 fire ships in the back of his water with 2 demos. So Chris is putting some pressure on Jack here, and Jack's going to have to invest more resources into water if he wants to hold this.
Like, this is the stage of the game where Erembi seems so much better, because they melt things so quickly, but... Oh my god! There's rams there, Slam!
You know, if that castle works, it's great. It just doesn't work. That's the question.
What?
There's a monk coming, there's conquistadors, there's rams.
You've got to be kidding me.
3 monks from Jack, supporting his teammate.
Yeah, and Erembi getting converted. Slam, no. Slam, throw. Dude, that castle's just going to go right down, is it not?
I feel like there's a potential to hold this, Tristan, because the conquistadors are going to have to back away. They can't fight there.
No,
there's nothing to...
You sit there, right? Because there's no murder holes.
No, because, no, the Erembi can... Look, the Erembi can just pick off your conks.
Ah, true. Okay.
And then if you disengage, you're going to run into the castle fire. And that gives another production building for Slam. I feel like there's a potential to keep this up.
It's so awkward.
It's so close, though.
Yeah, Slam's running out of stone. This was a do-or-die
villagers.
castle. And
speaking of do-or-die castles, I think Barles is placing one on Slam now.
no way. My turn. That might be the game, Dave. That's an awful castle place, is it not? I mean, you can only build it with 2 villagers, but
Yeah, that's. I don't think he knew the market was there.
Probably.
I don't know.
but Slam's
that-
lost
that
everything.
castle-
Oh,
From Slam, it feels like if it did go up, it would have been game changing.
Yep.
But it's game changing in the wrong way now, and Chris is on the way to the Imperial Age.
now that's something. Not something I would have expected. But Slam, is he even going to have a base by the time that happens? What would Chris make? You seeing anything here, Dave? Maybe some barracks, maybe some stables?
Archer ranges, or no, barracks. Sorry.
Okay. That's interesting. Slam has had to sacrifice quite a few villagers. That castle's going up.
Slam does have plenty of real estate to run to, though. If he's like gonna play the rat role now, that his front of his base has been denied.
Yeah.
He can move to the left and keep running and keep running and keep running, saving his villagers, and it'll just be a constant distraction for Barles and Jack, hunting him down. He just
As-
needs to give time for Chris to build up, but that castle from Jack on Chris.
That's an interesting one. That's a massive hill there.
Yeah.
Wait, it could be denied by Man-at-Arms, of all things.
Chris, notice it.
Chris wants
Oh,
to...
he doesn't see it at all, dude.
What? Wait. No, he
Chris,
still
move.
doesn't see
No!
it. No way. Oh, here he goes. No way. You're kidding me. Now he sees it. After the castle's up. Brutal. Brutal stuff as Jack is looking to buy time to go imp. And will comfortably be able to click up to imp now.
Okay,
Oh, my
Chris.
word.
Don't. I feel like you don't fight that castle. You just run in with your extra Pierce armor infantry here, and try and nuke the economy for
Yeah,
both
you
the
just
Polish
bypass
players.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, because like you're gonna need a castle of your own to probably take that out.
He just rang the bell by accident. Yeah, you're going to need a castle of your own. He doesn't have that, and he doesn't have the time to wait for one. So just run in and hope for the best as Slam is running away and just relocating town centers as he loses
Yep.
them.
This is
All
what
I
I was
can
talking
do.
about. And maybe, I mean, for Slam, if you just keep running, maybe Brawls takes a bad fight,
Yeah.
takes a bad trade, loses this conch mass, and then suddenly you have free reign with the Arambai, right?
Do you see? Have you ever seen longswordsmen attack a castle?
You're
No.
asking the wrong guy.
I was going to say, not when
I've
you've done it.
many times.
Not when you've done it. Okay. All right, wrong person. I knew right when those words came out of my mouth that was a bad question to ask. Latest, though, against two-handed swordsman, fantastic, and 2 castles is better than 1.
I feel like Chris is giving too much weight to that position from Jack. If you hit his economy, those castles are not going to be as dangerous as if
Yeah.
you keep dancing around in this area, right?
I guess the
Just go
problem is
past those.
everywhere he goes, there's going to be a castle, and then there's
Ooh,
Barles
look
at
in
this
the north,
point.
though. North of Jack's base,
Oh!
Slam is out. He's out of the cage.
Barles signaled that for Jack.
Oh,
Jack's
the
probably like,
gold
I'm
in the
so
stone?
sorry.
The gold in the stone from Barles. Slam is on it now.
But Slam is back. But Chris is dying to Latus and to Conquistadors and 1 single Arambai. But Chris, you know what? His eco's untouched, Dave. So he can make these non-stop. It's not the case for Poland. They really need to sort out that eco problem. Jack's now an imp. Latus hype, by the way. This is the second time today we've seen Latus used in the tournament. Very rare you see them. They are extremely strong.
What does Chris do now, other than the champions? What do you mix in here?
I mean, I actually like pikemen. I know it's not a deal because Malians don't get halberdier, but I like pikemen. I'd say if Slam had more eco and was maybe imping and transitioning,
Slam
that
is being so annoying with these Arambai.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
he has to be annoying for a while, I think. So to the point where Poland cannot pressure Chris, because Chris just chose. Not that there were many other good units for him to go for, but I think going champion was a mistake. I think he should have tried camel or cavalier.
I think if you're going champion, you can't fight a straight up battle. You have to raid if you're going champion.
Yeah,
and
maybe.
He never got that opportunity. But he's shifting all his stuff to the south here, and he's actually hitting the gold from Jack. Meanwhile, the conchs are really busy with Slam's Arambai.
Yeah, and they have the chase. Slam happily just running away, as his eco otherwise is pretty good. I say that as there's multiple castles around him, but mean, the thing about the latest is you need elite, which is pretty cheap, but you need elite, you need armor. They're an expensive unit to make, so if you can get enough of them out, they're gonna wreck here. But if you're fighting before upgrades, which is what Chris is wanting here, could be okay. Jack takes the
Champion
fight.
upgrade coming in.
Huh.
I think that fight is for Chris there.
It is. He didn't even have the Castle Age armor upgrade there, Dave.
I just love how little damage this infantry takes from a castle flyer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
8 fierce armor. It's no joke. Meanwhile, look at Slam. His
Look at
army's
Burrows,
surrounded.
He's trapped him. Pincer maneuver, baby.
I just love that Slam was being that annoying that Barles had to create 2 groups of conks to chase him down.
Yep.
That's funny. Well played. And here goes Chris, maybe doing what you were saying, Dave, trying to run past all this, but Jack with the quick walls. Well done.
He can kill that. He's got arson. He can just clean up this house right away.
Yep. And the latest, still without imp armor, still without elite, hesitant to take the fight. There's Arambai there too. What? Is
Dude,
Canada
just keep
coming
going.
back?
Just keep moving. Nuke a T-Siege and to keep moving.
Poland can't
Kill
be
the
throwing
villagers.
this.
Keep moving. Well, how do you fight against Malian champions with Arambai behind?
Oh, man.
Where are those conks? You need the conks?
You
Okay,
need
the
the
conks are
conks.
coming up from behind.
You've got castles going up on Slam still. Oh, yeah, Slam's also being raided by the conks. Yeah, the conks are here now, Dave. You called that. And Elite Latus is about to complete. The big difference between Elite and non-Elite Latus. Armor upgrades will still be needed, but yeah, here you go. I actually think Jack is still missing Bloodlines. He doesn't even have the Bloodlines upgrade, so that was hurting even before. But Dave, they're raiding, and look at Chris sending in another wave of infantry. If they continue this with some siege to back it
He
up.
can just take out those castles now with that infantry. The conks are what he needs to worry about because he's got the pikemen mixed in.
Yeah.
So he'll trade decently against the latest. It's the conks that he needs to worry about, and he knows all of them are at the back there. And the conks are even running back, like they just can't deal with this in a straight-up fight.
Chris has 200 pop. Slam has 100. Jack has 120. Barles has 130. So collectively, as a team, Canada are in a great position, and they're melting castles with infantry. And to make matters even worse, Jack is invested into Elite Latus, which he needs castles for.
Yeah.
What?
And Chris, this infantry is insane. He's on that gold from Jack where Slam attempted to place that castle earlier.
I'm about
And
to
he
say
can
which
just-
one.
Yeah, he can just snipe villagers under the castle. He doesn't care.
Yep. It's like, if this were Hera in green, it would be Hussars. But because it's Chris, it's champions and pikemen. The Malians didn't exist before he took his large break. And he has untouched eco and is just spamming to victory.
Super impressive by Chris. He lost the water early. He just doubled down, stonewalled, boomed up his eco, and now it's an unstoppable flood.
Yeah.
And Slam has ratted it up here. He stayed alive. He's still been a factor
Seriously.
somehow in Castle Age.
Do you think that maybe Barles is being too cute with some of the micro? Do you think he should just commit to patrols at times? Like, does he need to keep all these units alive? Is it better to just engage?
I think at this point in the game, conks are nice, but they're not the ideal unit that you would want, right? You want something you can spam from multiple buildings, and that isn't so micro-intensive.
Yeah, Jack is adding fishing ships, Dave. I think it's out of desperation. He's queuing them up everywhere. Every other TC I go to is being attacked. You've got 100 military for Chris. If you add up what Jack and Barles have, they have about 60. And
It's
Chris
over.
Chris doesn't have to be cute with this. He just raids nonstop.
Latest are in the back of Chris's base, killing some wood villagers, but Chris is on that with military of his own. He's got Trebs on the field now, attacking the castles, and Slam. It seems like Slam is always there with his, 10 army
I
at
don't-
any given point.
Slam showing up. Yep, there it is. Sorry, I'm looking for all the little blue dots. There are actually quite a few areas. This is unbelievable. Jack is going to be so frustrated with himself if Poland lose this game because he forgot Bloodlines. He still doesn't have the final armor upgrade. He took some bad fights. There must be close to a dozen castles out there for Poland, and
Oh,
Chris just doesn't care.
there's so many castles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Like, there's so many castles everywhere. Like you said, he just doesn't care. Although
No.
he will need to mix in something else here in a second, because that army of conquistadors is getting pretty big.
Yeah, and they will get upgraded as well. Jack has really struggled to keep up with the pace of the game. He still should continue to make Latus. I don't think it's a bad unit to make at all. The only other thing I'd say with Lithuanians you could make is probably Paladin. So, you got more castles than stables. Why not? But Dave, the thing that Chris is doing is he'll toss away 50 people if he has 50 more in the queue. So, he's losing. The KD is not going to be pretty. He's losing a lot of units. But he's still gaining ground. So I wouldn't want to be a warrior in Chris's army.
He has to be careful, though.
But
he
still.
has to be careful. He only has 4 on gold right now. And he lost a bunch of villagers to raids, and he didn't really replace them fast enough. So if you look at his resources, like, he can't afford to lose this army that easily.
Good
The game might actually turn here.
He doesn't have the Q he had before. Look at Slam on the left side. Jack is okay, finally getting the final armor upgrade. He does have 45 on food, but he's got to be so frustrated with these raids.
Wait, Barles wasn't an imp this whole time?
No. He's now an imp, so he was on his way.
I didn't realize. I thought he was an imp.
Nope, not an imp yet. While I like the fact that Chris has the guts to use infantry against castles, Canada really needs siege, and now we have a pause.
Yeah, especially now that Yellow has access to Trebs. He can start hitting Slam's economy and killing Slam's castles. Slam needs to be in Imperial Age, but
that's not going to happen.
No.
I mean, his vill count's actually really decent. It's the lack of food income.
Yeah.
So if he pulled villagers off of wood and farmed a bunch, maybe, but or just cancel vill production entirely.
I feel like Chris needs castles on the hill in front of his main area of his base, and then a bit further to the left. Like, he needs something to lock it down, because he's been taking fights against Conks with his infantry there, and with a castle behind, the Conks would never engage.
I'm trying to look at gold as well. Slam's got plenty of gold and stone he can take, but actually, he really doesn't. He's got
not safe anyway.
Yeah. Like there's a gold pile there on the left, but that's in range of the castle Barles has.
See?
Right.
I don't know. It seemed really good for Canada, but Chris has been tossing units into these conks, and he doesn't have the resources to replace them. So
hey, he's
going to need to figure out a solution.
Somebody dropped. Okay. So they're going to try and save and restore this, I imagine. And we cross our fingers that works. But yeah, it gives us a little bit more time. There does seem to be more gold out there. Also, I was curious if Jack had relics. He doesn't have a single relic.
Chris had 106 military.
That's wild, man.
That's whack.
All right. Well, one more thing I want to mention, just so it's in the back of people's minds before we re-enter this game. A lot of that food eco for Jack is fishing ships. He's probably got over 20 out there. So
yeah, and they're not that efficient. They have to go quite a ways.
So he's got to, invest into some farms or fish traps when he comes back. All right, guys. So we're gonna try and restore this. Restore does work most of the time with DE, so he should be good. My slight concern, and this is, I don't have any data on if this is actually an issue, but I'm hoping we're able to still spectate it because it's on the old patch and a restore. Should be good.
I don't think that would change anything.
You would think. But yeah, I'll wait to see what Robo has to say because Slam must have dropped. And Robo says there is a drop. There will be a restore, so we have to wait. So who's winning, Dave? Do you think Poland's winning or Canada?
I think it's 50-50 right now.
Yeah, it's all down to if Poland can push an imp, I think.
You might think that Slam isn't very useful right now, but now with Poland and Imperial Age, both players, Slam is very exposed. And if Slam goes down, Chris has no chance.
Yep.
Chris is biding time and killing Eco so Slam can get back into the game.
Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah, I think Slam doesn't have any real way to deal with Trebs, which is the issue.
Yep.
If he had Mangadai in Castle Age or Conks in Castle Age, maybe he could dive in, but I don't think Erembi are that great where you can go under castles with them to take out the Trebs. So we'll see. Apogee, thank you for the 25. He says, good afternoon, everyone. Hope everyone's having a nice weekend. I, for one, am having an excellent weekend because these games today have been amazing. I hope everyone else is too. Thank you, Apogee. Rennie, Foodman. Oh, it's been a while. Foodman says, hello, Dave. Who is this strange guy on your stream? When do we see some GeoGuessr?
You saw it last week, idiot.
All right. Finny Man,
Go
thank
back
you.
to your Cheese Bureau of Investigation.
Investigation.
Yeah.
I still remember that game. Foodman, it was his first community game, making a bunch of skirms and attacking a fortified wall. You can't make it up. Actually, that might not have been Foodman. That might have been someone else in that game. But Atomic Sausage,
No,
appreciate
it was Foodman.
Was it?
Foodman got nuked by onagers over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, okay. Got it right. Johnny, what's up? He says only 3 more months until our kid is 3. Oh, because the Twitch baby thing. Gotcha. Thank you, Johnny. It's very close. Filthy Hippie, thank you for 7. Big Tuna, thank you for 5. And if I missed anyone else, thanks for the support. We are waiting on word.
Big Tuna's
restore.
on USAF.
Yeah?
Did you know that? Yeah, he's representing your country.
Nice. SAF. Good
I
stuff.
believe. I casted some games with them, so I think he's on
Oh,
USAF.
okay, gotcha. I was going to say, that's a pretty specific USA team for you to know. I did watch some of your Silver League cast. Let me test this real quick. Okay, the game that was showing up for me was their old one, not their new one, so they haven't restored it yet. Why is the best Canadian not playing but commenting instead? Dave, listen, you know, if Dave was a great caster and a great player as well, then the world wouldn't be fair. So he just nerfs himself by casting. Right, Dave?
Sorry, what were you talking about?
Yeah, exactly. Yo, Silenti, thank you for 10. Foodman, thanks for the bits. You did kill the wall. Yeah, I saw you say that. Thanks.
Okay, so I don't see. Okay, it's in the spec.
Is it there? Nice. Okay, I was so worried. Oh.
It says they're all Britons, though.
Yeah, it says they're all Britons. That's a bug. They're not actually all Britons. Sorry about the system noises there, chat. My bad. But yeah, we'll be in, and it's quite an awkward time to have to restore a game because you're doing so many different things that can really throw off your rhythm.
It's probably a good time for both teams though, because it allows you to reset, right? You can
Yeah,
have
that's
a
true.
conversation and say like, what's our win condition? What do we need to focus on? What's the status of your base, etc.
Yeah. Yeah, and you might have a moment to review things for a minute or two before you have to restore. It's not like you had to leave right away, unless you're Slam, because apparently his game crashed. So, right, I see it. We're good, awesome, and there's a 40-second delay, so we won't waste any time. I'll just show you guys what we see. It is not a Britain's war. It just says Britons. So keys for Poland going into this, Dave. Going into early imp for Barles, I guess.
Get rid of Slam.
Okay, I think
Somehow.
a few Trebs. Yeah, a few Trebs, and then I think Jack needs to sort out his food problems, man. Because if he's making nonstop lates, they just destroy. But because of Slam, he hasn't been able to do that, and also because of Chris, he needs to expand more to the north and get a solid and sustainable food economy. Dave just WhatsApped the Canadian team really quickly.
Yep.
That's funny. All right, it's a Britain's war. Let's go. We'll be back in, and boom, here we are. All right, so my mouse is no longer locked to the screen. That's great. But we'll deal with that. And to get you up to speed, Elite Conk is on the way for Barles, and we'll see what Barles is able to achieve. He doesn't have that many villagers, Dave, so I don't know if Trebs are really on the menu for him.
Yeah, and I'm just hoping that Chris gets his economy sorted out. Only 18 on wood. Okay, put 20 more villagers on gold, so that's good.
Yeah, he's
He
got
can
that.
keep up this spam for a little bit longer. And now he's heading in with another group to the economy. This is what he needs to do. Take out the castles in the back with his main force, and then distract those conks with like 15, 20 units at a time.
Yeah, I mean, if you've just gone imp to upgrade your conquistadors, which we're already chasing a bit, and you're not pushing slam at all, I think this is going to be a tough spot for Team Poland. Chris just melted another castle. That's what, castle number 3, not even using trebuchets.
Yeah, and that hill is such a good position. They have the gold there, and they have control over all those place farms that they had before. There's some stone. There's another gold pile there. If they can get a castle on this hill, they'll be in a really good spot. But here come the conks again.
There's also Arumbai there. Slam has 16 Arumbai in the queue, Dave. Look at this castle melting. What is happening? This is crazy from Canada.
Yep, and that's all he needs to do with the Arumbai. Just push back the conks, right?
Yep.
Chris is there with a few pikes, and it'll just distract long enough for the castle to go down. And Jack is placing another castle, but I think Chris can just run right past this.
Yeah.
Try
Jack
and
is...
take out the economy.
I've been there, man. I've been in these post-him situations where you're super panicked. And I'm looking at how much he has queued, the lack of upgrades for him, still missing bloodlines. I mean, he has got to be rattled right now. Trying his best. He did add a trebuchet to take out Slam's castle.
Yeah, I think
So.
Slam should let Chris know that that's there, and Chris can send a few champs over to deal with that.
What a game, dude. If Barles and Jack can get their eco a little bit stabilized.
Oh, there's the castle from Slam on that position I was talking about. And there's another Arumbai mass.
He's got so many. So many Arumbai. Now there's Rams and Kongs about to head over to the left. This is where Slam has just added a bunch of farms, but Canada have more population. They have so much more population. They just need Slam to get an imp. And maybe Chris needs to start thinking about another unit. I'm not sure if it makes sense to go Camel or Cavalier here. Maybe light Cav with Malians.
Slam's going to struggle here. 3 Rams coming in. He could deal with those with the villagers, but now behind this Treb, there's Conks and Latest building up.
Yeah, also Elite Conk versus just Arumbai. Conks seem to be doing all right. I see Slam has clicked up to Imperial. He will make it. He's got castles everywhere surrounding that town center.
This is a great game.
This
back
is
and forth,
amazing.
back and forth.
This is an amazing game. Yeah, seriously.
Barles just can't find the time to deal with any one army, though. Like, the Conks are constantly running. And look, Slam's keeping him busy, and Chris is in with
Again.
another round of pikemen and champions. And there goes Barles' economy for the 3rd time.
Yeah. Constantly having to reboom. Doesn't have supremacy, so the villagers aren't armored. I mean, at what point does Poland just run out of space? It feels like Chris has so much more map control, and so does Slam.
Yeah.
See,
I think
Stonewalls,
we're getting to
actually,
that point,
but,
like,
man.
right now. There's nowhere to go for Poland anymore.
Also, is Chris being stubborn by not adding trebs? He could
I
be
think
making
so.
some trebs.
Yeah, even, well, dude, like, even more than the 2 castles he has at home.
Yeah.
Like, just a castle on the hill in front of his base would be amazing. It just locks down half the map, right? But he
Yeah.
doesn't have it. He's being very stubborn.
Look, speaking of sneakiness and stubbornness, Slam ran through on the left side right before that was fully walled. See how Elite Latest do against that. Still no bloodlines. It's such an important upgrade. It's plus 20 HP on all of these units.
Slam is stuck up here, though.
He is. But, there's another push coming from Slam and from Chris on this little hill. I say push, it's really just a raid. They need a push. 4 trebuchets, and then defend that. Oh, the
Bloodlines
latest
is coming.
engage. Oh, that's pretty sick.
That's a good fight for Jack. That's a really good fight.
Yeah, right before Imperial for Slam. He's doing his best. And it ends up looking a bit better for Slam as he gains that choke point.
And now they've actually... Barles has held with some conks and house walls at the right moment against the push from Chris.
Yep.
And Chris is kind of wondering where to go now.
Yeah, he's getting other upgrades now, so he's maybe thinking about a tech switch, but if he doesn't have trebs, I don't see him running underneath this amount of castles right now.
Stonewalls are such a good play here from Jack. Because Chris can just walk under the castles. He doesn't care about the castle fire. But
Yeah.
he can't get through the stone walls fast enough. And the Conks can deal with that once he's stuck up against that. Slam's castle in the north went down, too.
Yeah, that castle's gone down. More castles could go down, but he is switching into Light Cav and then probably Hussar. And if he's able to get enough out there to just snipe the Trebs and stop the Rot, might be okay, man. But I feel like neither team can push right now. Canada
Yeah.
has more eco, but they have the worst units. It's really
There's-
fascinating.
There's some areas of the map that Canada needs to clear up. Like those 2 yellow castles in the very middle.
That's
Those
been there
are
for far
very
too long.
exposed.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very exposed. And just a couple Trebs sitting on that hill can take those out.
Mm-hmm. You know, people asking about the bloodline situation. There are stables out there. If Red was ever going to realize and get bloodlines, does Jack have murder holes? I don't know if they have murder holes, but it wouldn't surprise me if murder holes is researched here. He better research murder holes if he hasn't already. But Dave, Poland are pushing back. Both pushing back Chris a little bit in the middle-ish area, and also mounting a big push against Slam right now.
I'm feeling decent about Chris's position, and I'm actually not feeling that bad about Slam's either, because he has the light cav teched into now, full armor upgrades on those, and he has Arambai behind.
Yeah, he also could get the Hussar upgrade. That's on the way, but Slam's got to be careful here. I think he's been relying mainly on castles for pop space. It can reach a point if you start losing your castles. Not only is that bad because you don't have Arambai, but you get pop cap pretty badly. But Chris running underneath and past the walls yet again. He was even
Have to
attacking
make
the
sure
walls.
there's no gaps, dude. Have to make sure there's no gaps. He'll go through. There's so many castles on the field in this game. For
Yes.
both teams, it's insane.
It
And
only
Slam
will
has
happen on
another
Nomad.
He has another 1,200 stone in the bank, too.
Jack has really stabilized his economy, Dave. He's got bloodlines now, so that's a good sign. He's got 50 on food. Got tons of elite Latis here.
You're saying 50 on food, but I'm watching, 20 fishing ships going to one box turtle.
That's true. Well, that could be a deceiving number for him then, as he takes this fight. Slam's still got quite a few Arambai in here. The Hussar go down, but the gold units are still there for Slam.
Yeah, that's good for Slam. He's saving his Arambai. If he can take out these Trebs and save that castle, it would be fantastic for him. And I think he will do that.
Oh, Dave. I think Slam is going to... Well, the Latis are deceivingly strong when they get in close. But I don't see Jack having the reinforcements here. And yeah, maybe Slam can hold that position. This is such a ridiculous game. Meanwhile, Chris is making Trebs. He's actually making Trebs. That's a good sign for Canada.
And he's pushing right down the gut. And Barles has not diversified his military at all this game. That's the problem with Conks, right? If they're alone, if you don't have anything to back them up with, you're just stuck running from one spot to another. You're never fighting on multiple fronts.
And 0 on gold for Chris. So it's just going to be some champions, some Trebs, and then a bunch of trash units. But I feel like Skirm Pikeman is not the worst against Conquistador. Not if you continue to spam them like Chris is.
Yeah, Jack must be wondering. I have 51 on food.
Yeah.
Where's my food income?
Yeah, he's starting to tech into skirms now, which in some areas could be good, but in a lot of areas could be quite bad as that castle goes down for Barles. And thinking maybe Barles could switch into something else as well, but we're going to group up together here on the hill, Dave, and forget about the left for now and try and push Chris's eco back.
Slam has Trebs now, though. And Trebs, Arambai, Hussar.
Yeah.
They don't have anything to deal with that at
All
all.
of these castles will go down. The gold could be gained. Slam also has very little on gold. I think there's only a few gold piles remaining on the map at this point. And
There's quite a few big ones, actually, still here. I see at least three.
mainly on this part of the screen, at least what the viewers are seeing. There's 3 there. Chris is completely out. I hear docks.
Are they going to clean up the water and then trade?
I hear Barles adding docks. I think he might be adding fishing ships for fish traps or something. I don't know, but it's not the first time I've heard it. Oh, transport ship. Okay. But Dave, I've been looking at the populations consistently. Canada's always had more. They've always had more eco. And now at this point, they have 140 military against 70. It's more diverse, their composition. They have more map control. and they're taking out the castles now with the Trebs. This is looking really bad for Poland, and I feel horrible for them, because if they lose this, it'll be 2 games that they were ahead of Canada in.
Yep. And Slam, the problem for Poland right now is Slam is no longer a liability. He is the most dangerous push.
Yep.
He survived, he ratted it out long enough to become a threat to the Polish team, and now they have to keep the majority of their army over there, and Chris hasn't stopped either. Chris has 4 Trebs on a hill with skirms and pikes in front of it.
They never thought he'd send Trebs forward because he wasn't doing it for the first 30 minutes of Imp, but he's brought the Trebs now, and it's amazing how fast you can push through castles with trebuchets.
Yeah, and Chris, I mean, even though he's out of gold, he can now tech switch into Lycav
Yeah.
with Farimba, and
This has got to be GG, man. I mean,
Yeah,
both
it's
teams have heavy
definitely
pop
over.
right now, but if it comes to trade, I don't see how the Polish team can trade. There's so much going down. There's so much idle. Unbelievable game. And maybe just, you know, the difference between the teams. Again, you have a top 5, top 4, top 3, wherever you put them team against Poland, who's certainly one of the better teams that's not in the top 5. And they just were not able to close it out here. I'm still seeing 180 pop for both Polish players, 200 pop for both Canadian players. I don't know where the population is, but it's out there. But Canada's pushing.
can I just say, I'm surprised that Chris at no point in this game has dealt with this dock villager from Jack. He is still there.
Where?
And now he's making stables.
Wait.
And the south corner. Like, do you see all the houses?
Yeah, they made so
Do you
many
see
houses.
all the docks, the blacksmith, the stables?
Yeah,
Like, at no point was he concerned about that.
that's funny. There's the monk there. Maybe the monk will convert it. And I think we'll look back and there will be some relic gold too.
Trade for Burls.
Yeah, where's he trading to? I saw he was
It's just
making
one. It's one cart without the speed up.
one car without the speed upgrade going to that market. Yeah.
Through the
32
enemy
gold.
army.
This is game over. Poland just don't want to accept it. You know, oftentimes when the score still shows you're winning, you don't want to call it, but it just feels... I mean, on paper, shouldn't Kongs and Latis just wreck Hussar Arambai? It feels like, with the cost of the units, it should, but Hussar Arambai, too strong, and wow, what a game! Words for that, Dave? How do you sum
was
that
a-
game up?
That was insane, dude. Poland got the early advantage again, just like the first game.
Yep.
Poland got the early advantage. One player took a lot of damage. They managed. I'm fucking rhyming now.
Damage?
Early advantage, the damage. They managed to save the eco, and the other player boomed behind.
Yeah.
This time it wasn't Slam. This time it was Chris.
Yeah, and I think Barles played this game really well. And Jack did for a time, but I think his late Castle Age early imp lost this game for Poland. Jack, he was taking so many engagements without upgrades. He committed to, I mean, just the fact that Champion Pikeman was able to counter him when he was going latest, I think says a lot. Either committed to the wrong unit or just was engaging at the wrong time. And that little number that shows up at the top left that says how many villagers you have on each resource, I think was really deceiving for him because it said 40, it said 50, but there's so much on water that was inefficient, and his farming eco was rated. Slam, in my book, I can't even give anyone on Canada the MVP, but Slam's rating was bothering both Canadian players as Chris could just boom.
So, look at Burl's KD.
Yeah.
And then tell me, at any point, was his main army in the economy of the enemy? I think maybe once on Slam's base.
It's hard to say what part of Slam's economy was his main part.
Yeah, to be fair.
I don't
But,
really
like,
know. But
my
yeah, certainly
point
not
being
Chris's.
that Burls, even with that KD, just spent all his time running around putting out fires.
Yep.
He never had the initiative with that.
Chris
So
played
it's the difficulty of
Malians.
having conks, right?
He played Malians like Goths in Imp. Just
Yep.
spam nonstop. And every low Elo Legend person watching right now knows what I'm talking about. The KD doesn't have to be pretty, but you give them a constant flood to worry about. Yeah, look at that eco. Chris had 57,000 food, and then Jack had 30,000. I mean,
And Jack had the water too.
yeah, Jack had the water, Barles had the water, and Slam, who did not really need food until late game, had 27,000 food. So the food eco was just not there for Poland. That's got to be a real gut wrencher, man. Because game one, they could have won that game. Game 2, I think you could even use the word should have won this game. And now you're down 2 games against a team that's much better than you. I feel like you've got to take your chances because they're pretty few and far between.
I'm just
Man.
surprised that Malians, when they picked Nomad as a home map, they let Malians go so late in the draft.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
guess they felt like they could deal with it.
I don't know. I feel like Lithuanians, Persians is still top tier. I mean, we saw how good the Spanish and
Well,
Lithuanian
they didn't even
combo
go
could be.
Persians, right? So
Oh, did I say Persians? I meant to say Lithuanians and Spanish. Sorry.
yeah.
Okay, well, we'll be arena next. There's quite a few civilizations which are unique out there for
I'll
Poland.
be right back.
Yeah, no worries. Teutons could and should probably be picked. Maybe Teutons, Cumans. It feels like it fits for this. And then for Canada, I'm really curious on if like, I feel like all the Canadians hate arena equally. So which Canadian hates arena the most? Arrow will probably be like, let me play, you know. I think Aztecs is a good shout there. Aztecs combined with maybe Mongols, because post-int Mongols can be deadly. I don't know. Cumans and Berbers. Yeah, Cumans and Berbers could be good as well. You know, you still have to look at it, like you have to save civilizations for future games if you're Poland, so you can't just pick your best civs. You have to save stuff. I think Incas and Goths are saved for Chaos Pit. Ghost Lake, you know, you could have any knight civ with any archer civ. Actually, they won't have an archer civ for Ghost Lake if it gets there, right? If they're using Incas and Goths on Chaos Pit, which has to be... Yeah, maybe they'll go Goths. Maybe they use Incas on Ghost Lake then, and they go, I don't know. Okay. Can you make a playlist for the 2v2 World Cup, my man? Yeah, we'll make sure a playlist is up, Bunny Thing. We only just now started uploading every single set from the tournament, so I can make sure it's in a playlist. Good reminder there. Taste my clam. Thank you for the 2 months. Thank you, Bunny Thing, for the resub. Random Vicious Maradidur says, Dave, when can we expect the first ever GeoGuessr World Cup?
Fuck you, Chupta.
Do you hear that? Is he on the toilet right now, yelling so we can hear him? Food Man. Oh, no, we're all good. I thanked everybody. Thank you guys for the support today. Thank you, almost 10,000 people for being here. Next game will be starting soon. This is also really awkward because normally when Dave's here, I can take a quick break and go to the bathroom. But Dave, he won the race, so no break for me. That's fine. This will be the last set of the day. I hope 3 more games, potentially 1 more game. So Banzo all day has been asking for 2v2 low elo legends. Did I promise we would do that if we hit 10k viewers for this tournament? I mean, I can promise you I might. How's that sound? Oh, I didn't restart my game, Peter. Thanks for the reminder. You know what? Since we have so many people here, how do you guys feel about gifted subs? We don't have to, you know. You don't have to gift any subs. But I figured the goal for me, this event, it ends in 15 days. The goal for me is to reach 2,000 subs gifted to this channel in my time streaming by the end of the tournament. And I have 50 more to gift to get there. So I think I'm going to give 10 right now, and then I'll gift more in the future. This is random. And if you're new to the stream from YouTube, or you've been here the whole time and you can't justify subbing, whatever, I'm going to gift some subs, all right? So here you go. Thank you, King of the Noobs. Also, this tacks on $10 more to the prize pool. That prize pool number will go up. Tomorrow, I think we'll have it updated, so every time a sub comes in, it adjusts the prize pool, because $1 for every single sub gets tacked onto the prize pool. There's a lot of people who want subs. I'm sorry for people that don't get it, but just put a smiley face if you got dodged. We still love you all the same. It's not rigged. Your gift unlocked emotes. Freaking Twitch. Freaking Twitch. Twitch gave me a notification. It said, your gift unlocked emotes. And then there was a button there. It said gift again. That is sly, Twitch. That is very sly. I will gift again, but probably not today. We'll do more next weekend. T90 official. Thank you for the 10 gifted subs. All right, I'm restarting my game. The next game will launch soon. It actually has... Wait a second. Has it launched already? Well, thank God it's Arena. Robo said 4 minutes ago it already launched. Whoops. Okay, I'll be in a second. My bad. Just give me 10 years for my game to open up. Funny thing, thanks for gifting a sub to Faker again. You always do that. Thanks for the sub, T90. Love you, baby. Yeah, no worries, Sam. I got you. Glad I could do it. The best part of Arena is the time where Dave and I get to talk about deer and wolves and whatever else, and we're missing it. Freaking missing it, man. Arena. Hera is in, and let's 14. All right. So my apologies for missing the early stages of this. I'm really happy that the players have been able to get things started super early. Sometimes there's delays, and these teams have done a pretty good job with that, as have all the teams today. Also, shout out to Robo. I know normally if I'm... Oh, God, my mouse isn't... Come on, DE. There we go. Normally, if I'm casting an event, you know, I go down the long list of people to thank and all that. And I suppose I don't do that quite as much when it's my event, because I'm not like, hey, thank you, self. But thanks, seriously, to everyone behind the scenes on this. I don't think you guys realize we've had Algernon and Hank working on maps. Oh, we're at live time. There we go. We've had Robo doing a ton of admin work behind the scenes. We brought in Tarzes and T-West to help with some of that, too. The players, of course, have put in a tremendous amount of time to practice, which is awesome, and it's good to see there's a lot of reason because Microsoft put up some money. And I wouldn't, you know, be gifting, or sorry, I wouldn't be adding on prize pool if you guys weren't supporting me here too. So thanks for either watching, supporting, whatever. So Barles is here, playing as the Kumans, and the expectation is he's having a terrible time luring this thing in, is that Barles is going to go for Fast Feudal into a second town center and then a Feudal Age boom. He's teamed up with Jack, who has gone for Teutons, all right. We've seen that plenty of times in this tournament. And then against him is Chris, who's gone Aztecs. And then in the blue, we have Hera. And Hera is playing as the Vietnamese. If Dave was here, I would ask him his thoughts.
Well, I am. So
okay.
You knew I was.
Yeah, yeah. I wasn't sure if your wife was at the mall or what. So
yeah.
Thoughts on this?
What do you call a two-man Cumans Teutons team?
What do you call a two-man Kumans Teutons team?
Two-mans.
I was expecting something more. I was like, cooter, yeah, two-mans, I guess. Okay, all right.
I didn't really have time to like marinate that joke.
Yeah.
You know, didn't really think about it, but I like it.
That joke matched up against some of the jokes I made earlier today was pretty good. So Vietnamese, I always think about getting to Rats and Archers. Regardless, Rats and Archers, post-imp, there's only a few things that can kill them. Huskarls, and then maybe Paladins. So I guess suppose Paladins is an option for both Teutons and Kumans. Aztecs, I think about taking map control and getting to Eagles and Monks, Dave. But Teutons on the other team kind of counters the Monks, and then Paladins wreck Eagles. So kind of a weird matchup.
I don't really like the Aztecs pick here. And Chris hasn't even found like 2 of his turkeys. He's just going out with his eagle right away.
Yeah? Interesting.
Maybe, I guess they were trying to lame the turkeys from the other team right away?
It's very rare that the turkeys are outside the wall, but I think it does happen on rare occasion. That's something that we could have made consistent, but, you know, you play Arena, you normally scout the outside of your walls first.
Yeah.
So, I guess Chris is going to find it, because the Polish players would have no reason to push forward right now. But yeah, man, I think the one strategy that comes to mind where Vietnamese can shine is if this is a sling situation. And if Chris sends all of his resources after a boom to get Harrod's Imperial Age Ratans. But otherwise, I think Teuton's booming, Kuman's booming can make life really difficult for the civs that Canada has.
I just don't like Aztec's late game. Like, I don't really like it at all. I think in 1v1 they're fine, but in 2v2, I don't know. I'd have to see.
Yeah, okay. Jack pushing in some deer. Chris is going to find his turkey. No, what the? This is really weird from Chris. He should know he's down turkeys. Why is he not scouting for it? He's going up already, Dave. I guess he's scouting the back of his base, but like, it's clear as day for us. If we'd scout that area, he's just letting them out there.
This is why you don't go scout your opponent's walls before you finish scouting your own.
Yeah.
Like there's a couple clear places they should be in the front corner in that dark spot, or along the one area of the gate you haven't scouted yet.
Not his proudest moment.
No.
Not his proudest moment. All right, so Barles is going for the second town center. He'll boom. The thing I'd like to bring up about the civs is that Teutons and Kumans, I feel, are better in post-im. So we're talking ideal armies. But in early Imperial, with Forward Castle and Rats and Archers, or Atlatl Skirms, or whatever, early imp comes to mind for the Canadians, I feel like they do have potential there. And there's always that risk, as Bartles, of all people, finds the turkeys. There's always that risk that you can boom too much and then get pressured by some type of early imp play. So, yeah, that was really weird.
That's unfortunate for Chris. He's going to have to add an extra couple farms.
Normally I'd use the word unfortunate. I think...
Oh, he killed two turkeys at the same time, too. Those villagers. Come on,
now
man.
That's
you
unfortunate.
were shift queued to the other one.
Now that's unfortunate. Okay.
Oh,
Chris
no.
and
The
his turkeys.
game's already over, basically. I mean, the food efficiency is just not there for him.
Just awful. He's only going to be in Castle Age before 15 minutes. It's not very good. This is really fast uptime. I'm curious about this. Why? And he also got Loom, Dave. So maybe he will go forward as the turkeys head over to Jack's base. Yes, someone said that Jack stole turkeys. He did not. I did the counting there. Did the math. But I guess Barles technically stole them.
Well, Chris will be the first one on the way to Castle Age, and I think Monks is definitely the play here, right? You get the relics first.
Against Teutons? The conversion resistance?
Well,
I mean,
no, you have to get the relics anyway. If you're going to Aztecs,
yeah.
You're not going to get the relics. And Slam is going to go for a archery range blacksmith. So Slam's going to go for some crossbows here. Not Slam, Hera, sorry.
Yeah. I'm getting a funky feeling about this. Something like they're going to go and try and kill one of the players, in particular kill Jack.
2 villagers coming forward from Chris.
Yeah, I'm thinking Siege Workshop, or this is maybe too wild, but what about a Siege Tower? Siege Tower, and then Hera hops over the walls. That would be so amazing.
It could work. Like you're saying it like it's a meme, but like it could work. Usually when you're going archers or crossbows, the problem with Siege Tower is you don't have the wood or gold, right?
Exactly.
You're busy making the archers, but if your ally makes it, then you could be in a good position. Unfortunately for Chris, Barles has spotted these 2 villagers.
Yeah, so Jack would at least know to wall. Good micro from Hera and from Chris.
Base. He's not going to Jack's base.
Huh.
He's going to the Cuban player's base.
Poland can see this.
The problem, and you've mentioned it multiple times, is Teutons. Do you think they expected Teutons on Arena?
I think they
picked
did.
Aztecs?
Yeah, I think they did. It's been picked a lot. I think the plan, as Chris is now going to go for Monastery, which again feels really weird. I think the plan for Poland might be to have Jack boom. If Barles gets pressured, then Jack just sends all of his resources. What the?
Barles is coming out. Is he going to tower rush it? Going to rush it down?
Let's see what Chris's reaction time is like here. Chris has to somehow quick wall this, otherwise he'll lose the Vills.
No, there's archers from Slam coming over. He can just run towards Archer, or not Slam, Hera.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's all right. It's all right. I get it because the colors have been switched around quite a few times. So he wants to wall this up, but Hera has archers here. So it looks brilliant if it's just one person. But now that there's archers here, this is a little more awkward.
Yeah, this is not good for Barles now. Although he is Cumans, so he does have 4 villagers to toss away, as Chris just frantically spams that guy.
Yeah, I mean, Chris, what did he want here? He wanted a siege workshop, and he wanted a monastery forward. He gets exactly that. He still has 2 villagers here. That was
And he
not a
picked
good
off
play from Barles.
3 villagers from Barles.
Yeah,
So I think at the end of the day, Chris is going to be very happy with that.
very, very happy. He can heal up those villagers, no problem. Yeah, I think the plan from going into this, as Barles forgot to change his gather point, he's still sending villas forward. Oh god, they might really be tilted right now. But I think Jack is gonna free boom, and then if the going gets too rough for Barles, he'll just send his resources to Barles. But I don't know if they were expecting this type of pressure, crossbows and Mangonel.
Okay, here's where they probably didn't plan on a siege tower, but Hera might be looking at this position and he probably is asking Chris, what if you made a siege tower?
Yeah, I know.
What if?
What's interesting about pressuring Cumans with the siege, though, is that the stone walls for all civilizations only have 900 HP in feudal. So because he's not in Castle Age yet, this gate is melting so fast, Dave. Look at that. It's already halfway down.
Yeah, and 2 mangonels on it now. I like how Chris with the pro play is attacking the sides of the gates so he can target the middle
Yeah.
with the mangonels without injuring his own units.
And I just heard some resources. Jack he's heard that Barles is desperate, so he's just sent what he could over.
93 gold.
Yeah, that's it. I didn't even see if he got coinage yet. And the big thing I think you need against a siege push is a castle, and there's no stone income. All the stones are forward. This is looking so bad for Poland.
I kind of like the fact that Barles is making scouts here.
I think that's good play. Yeah.
While he goes up to a Castle Age, he's not waiting. So he's going to have some military to distract, and there's only 1 spearman on the field from Hera.
Yeah, if he turns that into a few scouts with knights, he could clear this, especially with the Putin resistance bonus, but...
That is not the Castle Age TC, by the way.
Good.
The other one is.
Good point. Good point. Bloodline's on the way. And, oh, that's well played from Barles. He'll snipe the monk. Keep in mind, Barles has more villagers than all the other players. And Chris is now, as another monk will surely die, Chris is now making a gate around his Mangonels, which is a slick move. Here's the sling. It's incoming. We have food and gold coming in. It's not a lot. It's only
I almost
scouts
feel
right
like
now.
Hera can just run under this TC.
That TC's going down. He does not have the wood
Yeah.
income. He just refreshed the lumber camp at the wrong time.
Like if you time it right, you can just Hera's going back to try and deal with the scouts, but if you time it right, you can run under there right at the moment the villagers are gonna pop out.
Which would be soon, I think. Hera not
Chris
over-investing
loses
into this.
another monk, by the way.
Oh,
in the
man.
middle.
I mean, that's really good play from Barles. That's 3 monks and a crossbow or 2. And here's Hera,
comes
like you
Hera.
said, Dave. But he also needs to protect the monks in the siege. The TC's staying up. Scouts will take out at least 1 Mangonel. They should.
Maybe.
Oh, he's blocking him!
Nice.
Wow! That was well played.
It's good teamwork.
But now knights are going to be on the way. And Hera only has 8 crossbows.
He has three TCs though.
True.
So like, the economy is not bare bones behind this. It was a 1 archery range play, and look at all the damage they've done. Look at all the pressure they put Barles under with this play. And Jack keeps sending resources to Barles.
I think they'll continue with that for the time being. But yeah, this will be cleared. I think Canada will be happy with this because of the damage output. But Poland will be happy to see the scores decent. And if you add up the amount of vills, Dave, it actually is a slight lead for Poland.
And also, Chris's relics in a very precarious position in the middle of the map.
Oh, he actually had 3 in there? Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, that's not ideal. All right. Well, Barles has got to get a move on, I think. You can consider going forward siege workshop of your own if you want to. But I think getting to 4 town centers as your receiving sling is the way to go here. And then for Jack, I don't think you have to transition out of the sling, Dave. I think you continue to do it as long as you can create your own villagers, which he's been managing. So,
These have been really good games. Like, really entertaining games.
yeah. I always feel bad for the teams that get 3-0'd, but 2 out of those 3 games, or even all 3 games, are really competitive. Because The scoreline doesn't tell the whole story, and if you saw game 1 and game 2 between these teams, they were so close and very fun to watch.
Look at how similar the economies are.
Wild, man. Chris is actually the furthest behind, but Chris is 3 TCs. Now we have to start thinking about post-imp, and what do you go for?
As Aztecs.
Yeah, like Vietnamese, you go Archer
Yeah.
still, but
Yep.
what do you do as Aztecs in imp?
I mean, the Teutons player can go Paladins. The Humans player could go Paladins and or Kipchaks.
Ooh, what is this? Has got to be for a forward workshop, right?
It has to be. Or
What if he
is
buys
it-
a castle?
He's got enough gold, dude. He's got 1,500, and
Yeah.
Jack is constantly sending him resources. One shift click in that market, and he can have a castle on that stone area from Hera. Got to be careful, though, because crossbows in the hands of Hera,
Dangerous.
very dangerous. I think he's going for the Siege Workshop, and he might actually go for a capped ram play.
I love all-in Castle Age player. If you just flood knights with the Rams,
What
I
do
mean,
Vietnamese do against that? If you
exactly.
have capped rams and you're flooding knights, but he's going up to imp.
could also drop that castle. There it is. It's a castle that Hera does not see. Hera hasn't clicked up to imp yet. Yeah, this is what Sling can do. Hera, I think, wants Rats and Archers because he's on stone, but he's going for that eco play and might not realize where that castle is, how big of a risk it is if he builds his own castle forward, Dave. This is really good
Chris-
for Poland.
Chris is going to click up soon.
Right, Chris going to click
if he
up.
cancels his villager queue, he can click up.
I find it hilarious how Barles is protecting Chris's relics for him. Like, he thinks there's monks in there, but there's 3 relics, and Aztecs get more gold per relic. That's so funny.
Dude, imagine if that survives the whole game, like deep into Imperial.
Hey, that might make a big difference in this game.
Yeah, dude.
All right, Hera with his micro. Does he still not know about the castle? He still doesn't know about that. I feel like that's really big here, because if Hera wants to drop a... Oh, now he knows. If he wants
There
to
it
drop a
is.
castle, it would probably be more forward.
And what? He's on the way to Imperial Age. Same with Chris, but how does Hera deal with this early pressure from Barles? If Barles gets through the walls and starts sending in Cavalier,
Yeah. If there was ever a player to survive and hold in this situation, it would be Hera. He's very good on more open maps at using an eco lead and holding on. But I'd say the ecos are at least even because there's Sling involved.
Chris is going barracks, so Chris is going what?
I think full pikeman might actually be the play here instead of eagles.
Maybe.
He only
and
has
maybe
4 on
send some
gold.
resources to your ally as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. The late game options for Aztecs just seem bad here.
Garland War pikemen, they are good, but you need a castle, you need time. Then, of course, pikeman dies to Teutons if Teutons come into the game. 100 villagers Jack has. He's sending all the resources he can over to his teammate. We have Trebs for Barles, who's well aware there's a castle there. Cavalier is on the way, and Hera and Chris on the back foot for now, Dave. And we've said that before in Game 1 and in Game 2.
Yep, and another castle there for Barles. Hera tried to escape on the right-hand side, tried to get out, but he's forced to come back with those crossbows. This is going to be a lot of pressure for Hera to deal with in the next 5 minutes or so.
And for Poland, they kind of deserve a win, I'd say. You know, like, they played so good, but, oh, do you want to dive in right here, right now? He dives in with armor, Dave. The Trebs are behind this. This is looking amazing for Poland as Hera will try and quick wall his wood line.
He manages to quick wall that. That's
Yeah.
amazing. But there's too many knights. They have the armor. Cavalier upgrade's going to be in soon. And this is what I was talking about. Like, if he manages to breach the walls, Vietnamese don't have the options they need in Castle Age to deal with this. And Chris is forced to come over with a ton of pikemen.
Oh,
to help him
Hera.
out.
Hera has the Vills. He's still pumping out Vills as he's losing them, but he's losing town centers. He's going to lose his castles. He did a great job at keeping the crossbows alive. I think the big thing here is if Barles can click Paladin as he's producing. That would be epic. To know you have that even stronger follow-up behind this would be perfect for Poland. Is the Sling strong enough for that? Because he's actually lacking the numbers right now on Hera's base.
If
and the
he,
pikemen
if
are
he
arriving.
cancels a few of his villagers that are queued, he can get pretty close
Yeah.
to clicking Paladin. But right now, the Cavalier, I mean, the Cavalier are doing the job. Look at all the places they are
Mhm.
in Hera's economy.
Yeah, there's
Just
so many
needs to
different
take
areas.
out that castle. Hera's desperately trying to save it, and it
Goes
goes down.
Yep, as does
That's
Hera's
huge.
Trebuchet too, and Hera might have villagers, but 50 of them are idle right now. I think Barles has got to regroup mentally a bit. I think the raids work there. Just back up a bit, click Paladin.
Yep.
Now Paladin's on the way, and mass. You don't have to
Yep.
go for the raids for the next couple moments. Just mass, and then go in again, and maybe even shift focus as you see Chris. I mean, Chris, he's done well for his team before with a lot of pikeman
Ooh, Barles
spam.
is going to find that castle. Barles is going to find that castle placement from Chris.
He does see that. And that should be denied temporarily unless Chris gets more pikes over there. And, okay, Chris sees it. Pikemen are deceivingly weak, I'd say.
Chris is getting Garland Wars right now,
Chat,
dude. The
man.
earliest Garland Wars ever.
Chat, you're tilting me. To all the people spamming, look at yellow space. Did you not see the
That's
gates
the
and the houses
earlier
there that were
houses,
there
yeah.
20 minutes ago? Holy cow, man. Like, I even showed it 2 minutes ago. My word. Step Lancers, man. Step Lancers, let's go. So Step Lancers, a bit better against the Pikemen. Paladin.
Yep.
And then I'm waiting for Teutons to come in. At some point, once you have a good enough eco on your own, you just tell your teammate, yo, Jack, go for Siege Onager. Go for Teutonic Knights. I'd love to see some Teutonic Knights here.
Yeah, Jack, I think has stopped sending resources now. He's got 61 farmers here, Tristan.
Yeah.
He's just now getting handcart. But that's an impressive economy. And now Chris is shifting his focus over to Jack's base.
It's a good move. Even with anything. Like, just the fact that Jack will be telling Barles, hey, there's something over here, will make Barles think twice about where he's going. Dave, the sling is... And maybe it was waiting for Paladin, but it's kind of slowed down a little bit, and I think Barles really needs to have some siege in here. Something Teutons can offer, but on his own, there he goes. He's leaving the front, and they're holding.
Yeah, and Hera's got Trebs, and now it's such good teamwork from Canada for Chris to send those pikemen over, get Garland Wars early, and protect Hera.
Mm-hmm.
Chris is attempting to go forward, but Barles is there. He's going to find that gold.
He can't make it up. Chris raiding with pikemen for the second straight game. I have not seen anyone kill more villagers with pikemen than Chris. Oh, man. We have to get the stats guy on that. How many villagers has he killed with pikemen? But, yeah, it's working well, Dave. And Hera, you know, props to him. His 50 idle villagers that he had before all working now. He's got 0 idols, tons of arbs, and they're pushing his back with not double the military, not triple. It's like, quick maths here. Like, more than quadruple the military. They have so much. I think Sling has dropped off completely here.
Yeah, it dropped off about a minute ago, I think.
Yeah. And maybe it was the fact that Jack stopped sending resources. I'm not seeing that many farmers for Barles. He's only at 28. Is that enough for him?
I think
Forward
there just
castle
wasn't,
could go down.
there wasn't enough siege when he sent in the knights in the first place.
Yep,
Into
yep.
Hera's base. There was no follow-up to that. He managed to kill a castle, but that's it. And the momentum was just completely lost. And now Chris has a petard on the field. He's got pikemen. He's got trebuchets.
That's
He's going
amazing.
in.
That's amazing to use
He's
the
going
petards
in.
in this situation. To not use the trebs for that, but use the trebs for what they're meant for, castles.
Use the petards to get my pikemen in his economy. Let's go, baby. 4+6.
Oh man,
Soon to be 4+8.
that's not enough paladins. The paladins that Barles does have, as he feels forced to engage so he doesn't lose the position, all melts. Wow. I keep thinking back to the early pressure that Canada were able to put on Poland in this game, and it must have made Barles and Jack think that Sling was their only option. I'm not saying that didn't help. It obviously helped, and that's something that we've seen a lot in the tournament. But we've also seen the Sling drop off so many times in this tournament.
Good attack round shots here.
Good
for
shots
Jack.
indeed, yeah.
But the pikemen will catch up, and Chris will be perfectly happy tossing away 20 pikemen to get 4 mangonels.
Mhm.
He'll also be happy to see that his monastery is still safely walled in.
I know, 3 relics. Oh, he's not spending gold, and he has all that gold income there. Poland, if I'm Poland, I'd be pissed about that one. Jeez, the Knights were out there. They could have destroyed it. And here comes Barles trying to save his team here. Continue to fight on in the tournament. And takes out 2 Trebs, I think, maybe 3. But these Siege Workshops, they're their only hope now, Poland. And they're getting Trebs down as Onager is halfway through.
I think the theme of this set so far has been, if you're going to kill a player from Canada, you better make sure they're 6 feet underground, because
Yeah.
they can come back really quickly. We saw it with Hera in the first game, Hera in this game, Slam in the second game. It's just Poland have been ahead at points, but they can't deal that final blow.
Yeah, and it's a theme that these teams that are not top 5 tend to have, where they can get ahead. They can get leads. They can make it competitive, but closing out games against the top teams, extremely difficult. Onager's in, Dave, but Chris is killing Onagers with Pikemen. I'd feel so bad about myself if this was happening. Oh, my word.
And normally you can toss Paladin into Pikemen fairly confidently.
Yeah.
Because Pikemen don't do a whole lot of damage, but with +8, it starts to get a little bit dicey.
Plus the
at that
numbers.
point.
69 military for Hera, 92 for Chris. You got 2 for Jack and 28 for Barles. So, yeah, they might have the quote-unquote better
And here's
tech.
Hera's army finally out of his base.
Yeah.
Big old ball of 60 Arbalests.
I would love to see 1 Onager shot for Poland. You know, just something good for them before it all goes wrong. Oh, nice little fight here for Barles. Also bringing Trebs forward, so Harris has to come back. But in the 1v1 between Chris and Jack, it very much seems like Chris is winning, as Jack is repairing the mining camp. The mining camp wall. Yeah, man, this is brutal.
God, the pikemen are just so good at this stage. Like, he
Like-
doesn't need to spend any gold for it. He can spend all the gold on Trebs and Onagers.
Chris has showed me that pikemen are OP. Not civilizations with Halps. Forget about Celts and Japanese. No, it's Malians and Aztecs. They're the ones that have the best infantry. Hera researched paper money, I'm told. All right, so that sends some resources over to Chris. Let's go.
Hey, he doesn't need the gold. He's fine.
Yeah.
He's got
Only
3
3,000.
safe relics, and
This,
he's making pikemen.
on some level, this bothers me because I know that there's some low Edel legend out there who I've, you know, nicely criticized for not making gold units. Who's like, see, you play with trash, and then you make gold units later, and oh man, look at this fight. That might end up being. Well, I
That's
didn't
some
realize
cute,
they were 45.
Really cute. That's a really cute gate
Yeah.
from
Well
Hera.
done.
The bomber cannon's behind too.
What the? Dude, I didn't even see the bomber cannons until
Yeah,
more
look,
Arbalest died.
They can hit the Trebs.
How are 50 military units stacked on that one little tile? No, the trips. I don't think I've ever seen anything.
He's repairing with
What?
the villager.
What? I don't think I've ever seen something so ridiculous. And Poland just tap out. Oh, man.
Demoralizing. Taking that fight against our list.
Oh, well, I guess on the bright side, the game was probably over anyways, even if that gets cleared. Jack is just dead. And if you have a salute, please give it up to Poland here. Game 1, they were ahead. They could have won that game. Game 2, they were ahead. Maybe they should have won that game. And I don't know if this game was quite as close. There was a moment for Poland, and then that window quickly closed. But the big thing that I'd like to just pound home here as we're going into more sets of this tournament, and we've already gone through the group stages, there's a lot of teams from a lot of different countries, a lot of talented players that you as a viewer might not know about. They're playing all the time, and they have some skills. So respect to them, and it was always going to be tough for them up against Canada, Dave. You know, one thing that came to mind just now, do you think Canada played their very best today, or do you think they still have some room to improve going forward?
I liked what I saw from Chris today. I think Chris was at his best. I'm not certain about Hera and Slam, but I was very impressed by what Chris was doing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think that you know, certainly game 1, that was a big weak point for Hera. He didn't play in game 2. And maybe we feel like Hera and Slam could still improve because they have such a high peak. But I think they'll be happy with the 3 games won there. I think what's especially good for them is that they didn't have to play on their home maps at all because they don't reveal to the next opponent what strategies they like to do on those maps. 3,000 relic gold for Chris in the Walden Monastery. That was near 25% of all of his gold in that game. But yeah, I enjoyed the series. I think Poland can hold their head up high. I just kind of wish they could have got a win, you know? Game 2 would have been
They deserve. I think they
sick
deserve
victory.
to win here.
Yeah. That happens. It's happened before. It'll happen again. And that is it for day 1 of... Or, sorry, not day 1. Technically day 2 of the round of 16. And we have one final day tomorrow. I'll show this for YouTube too because I know this will be up on YouTube. This isn't necessarily when it will be on YouTube, but the remaining 4 round of 16 games will be tomorrow. We'll have Vietnam A versus Vietnam B, Finland A versus Finland B, and then we have Spain versus Argentina, and then Norway against France. That's what it looks like, Dave. Who do you think is going to be the most fun to watch tomorrow out of those sets?
Spain, Argentina, I think. It has to be, right?
Yeah, I think so too, man.
I'm sorry, France, but I'm not going with Norway, France.
Yeah, in Norway versus France, like for MBL, they're pretty good at the game. I think it's going to be tough for France there, but yeah, I'm excited for all those sets for different reasons. I think Spain, Argentina, probably the most competitive. I think Finland B, the way they've been looking, might surprise us a bit against Vietnam tomorrow, and who knows, with Rubenstock and Zupi, I know they are going to know Max and Velez well, so they might be prepared for their set too, even though they're the underdogs. So I'm pumped, man.